Please welcome from third base, the Vermont State champions from Brattleboro. From the first base game, please welcome the Massachusetts champion from Shrewsbury. From the third base game, please welcome the runner-up team from Massachusetts, Pittsfield. First base game, please welcome the Connecticut champion RCP of Cumberland. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's final game is between Cumberland, Rhode Island, and host Bristol, Connecticut. First, the non-starters for Bristol in tonight's game. Number 1, Mike Dombrowski. Number 4, Greg Lozier. Number 12, Brad Purdy. Number 13, Ken Knox. Number 14, Stephen Borkowski. Number 17, Ethan O'Day. And number 21, Wes Brady. Now the starting lineup for Bristol leading off and playing first base, number 7, Troy McCallum. Batting second, third baseman, number 8, Ben Mazzone. Batting third, left fielder, number 9, Zach Marquis. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 15, Chad Richardson. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 2, Corey Burnett. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 6, Jaden Rasmus. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 10, Andrew Olchenko. Batting eighth, second baseman, number 5, Ricky Lemke. Batting ninth and catching, number 3, Nick Sasso. Pitching for Bristol this evening, number 16, Noah Cruz. Introducing assistant coach, Jake Martell. Rick Lemke. And head coach, Gary Lopez. And now let's meet the state champions from Rhode Island. First, the non-starters. Number 44, Brian Riccio. Number 8, Mike Bogalowski. Number 21, Steve Andrews. Number 42, Dominic Cunha. Number 33, Nick Crow. Number 4, Ryan O'Neill. Number 23, Alex Lemon. And the starting lineup for Rhode Island leading off and playing second base, number 11, Josh Brodeur. And second, the shortstop, number 22, Tyler Calabro. And third, right fielder, number 25, Tyler Walsh. And fourth and pitching, number 9, Chris White. And fifth and playing first base, number 16, Trevor Mott. And sixth and playing left field, number 24, Jason Doris. And seventh and catching, number 5, Jake Etrin. And eighth and playing center field, number 40, Drew Stefanski. And batting ninth, third baseman, number 2, Nate Donovan. Introducing coaches Mason Almeri, Nancy Coleman, Jay Rainville, Leo Donovan, and manager Steve Reynolds. Your umpire for tonight's ball game. At third base, Mr. Shannon Geiser. At first base, Mr. David Cason. And behind the plate, Mr. Jeff Merkel. Ladies and gentlemen, first I want to recognize the newly elected Bristol Post 2 Commander, Rick Triner. Introducing in front of the mound also Mr. Art Ward and the Code of Sportsmanship.
Ladies and gentlemen, American Legion Code of Sportsmanship. Please repeat after me. I will keep the rules. Keep faith with my teammates. Keep my temper. Keep myself fit. Keep a stout heart in defeat. Keep my pride under in victory. Keep a sound soul, a clean mind, and a healthy body.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you rise. The Department of Connecticut Color Guard will present the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you remain standing until the retirement of the colors, players and fans alike. At this time, I would like to introduce to you our national anthem sung by young Christian Stafford.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
but most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not gonna lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
but most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not gonna lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
All right, welcome right back here to beautiful Muzzy Field in Bristol, Connecticut, as we settle in for our fourth game, our final game of the day. Here on day one, it's game 4. In your program book, Bristol, Connecticut will be the visitors, and Cumberland, Rhode Island will be the home team. Don Boyle, Steve Riley alongside for the call of this one, Steve. And we've had terrific baseball games already. We'll show the scores on our scroll on the bottom of the screen, but you have the batting order for the home team, Bristol. I should say the visitors, Bristol, on their home field.
Yes, leading off for Bristol's Troy McCauley. He plays first base, batting second. Ben Mazzone, the third baseman. Zach Marquis will bat third and play left field. Chad Richardson will be the designated hitter and will bat in the cleanup spot. Corey Fredette will play shortstop and bat fifth. Jaden Erasmus will play center field and bat sixth. Andrew Oshenko will play right field and bat seventh. Ricky Lemke will play second base and bat eighth. And Nick Sasu will catch and bat ninth.
So we're just about set to get it going. Chris Wright, the pitcher out on the mound for Cumberland, Rhode Island, the left-hander to get it going here. You have Jake Petrin behind the plate catching the balls and strikes. Trevor Marks is the first baseman, and Josh Brodeur at the bag at second. Cumberland was here, by the way, last year, if some of these names sound familiar to you folks that follow American Legion baseball. Tyler Calabro is your shortstop. Nathan Donovan at third base defensively, and the pitch is fouled off by McCauley. You got Doris in left, Safransky in center, and Walsh in right field defensively for Cumberland, Rhode Island. What a beautiful night for American Legion baseball.
Man, not a cloud in the sky, and actually the lights are on here.
That ball shot foul.
I know on our monitor you can't see that. The lights are above where the screen is, but they are on here since the beginning of this game.
Here comes the 0-2, swing and a miss and a strikeout for Chris Wright, so he's off to a good start. Troy will go back to the dugout, and Mazzone stepping up to the plate, the third baseman for Bristol. Well, a few years back, we can reminisce, Bristol didn't even qualify for the American Legion State Tournament in the state of Connecticut.
That's right.
And lo and behold, they won the Northeast Regional. So that Cinderella story perhaps could continue here into 2016. I don't know. RCP, the two-time New England regional champ, a Northeast regional champ, won earlier today. So they're off to a good start. Swing and a miss. Wright showing pretty good fastball.
Yeah, it certainly does. As he pops that one up, look right around the letters. Ben Mazzone, who comes into the game batting .385. And Bristol getting a taste of aluminum bats for the first time this year.
Pitch in there for the strike. Count goes 0-2.
You know, the other thing, Don, is this Bristol team has not played, I believe, since July 17th. As remember, they were not in. They got eliminated early in the state tournament.
Swing and a miss, might have been foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, held on to by Petrin, and you have 2 out. You talk about Christopher Wright. He graduated from Cumberland High School this past spring, 2016, 6'1", 190. Can also play some first base. Marquis stepping up to the plate.
Zach Marquis leads the team in RBIs with 20, comes in with 329 average.
Pitching there for the strike call. Chad Richardson, the designated hitter, on deck. If we have stats, it's because they've been given to us. If we don't have stats, it's because we don't have them. It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
And for you folks who are
Not been given
watching,
to us,
if you have any connections with the coaching staffs and alike, and we'll try to talk to them as the tournament moves along. We'll try to get some bio information on these young fellas and alike, and try to pass that along to you if we can, as we try to bring you the best coverage possible. Be here all week long. Here's Marquis to the plate, swing and a miss as Wright throws one off the table, and the count goes 0-1. He's moving the ball around pretty effectively. 0-2 goes the count now with 2 out. Base is clear, and the right pitch just missed outside. He thought he had it, and the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Wright is really popping the ball.
He really is. He wants to work quickly. Down low, and the count goes level at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Aren't they sponsored by Upper Deck or something? Is that the team? I always thought it was the Upper Deck Post team. Maybe I'm wrong.
Here comes the 2-2. I leave all that vital information up to you, Steve. I'll leave it up to you to see if you can pick that stuff up for us. Count full 3-2 after 2 consecutive strikeouts. Right behind the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and that pitch fouled back. Zach Marquis fouled it off. He's a left fielder today for Bristol. We've had a scenic day all day. Cannot remember better weather for opening day of a Northeast Regional in all the years we've been a part of it now. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, hit high up into the air. Second baseman is out Brodeur to the outfield grass, reaching up to make the catch. And that will do it. 1-2-3 goes Bristol. We'll be back with the bottom of inning number 1. Bristol nothing, and Cumberland, Rhode Island coming to the plate.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Back here at Muzzy Field, Don Boyle, Steve Riley alongside. Steve with the batting order for the home team, Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Leading off, the second baseman, Josh Brodeur. Tyler Calabro, the shortstop, will bat second. Tyler Walsh, the right fielder, will bat third. Chris Wright, the pitcher, will bat in the cleanup spot. Trevor Marks will play first base and will bat fifth. Jason Doris is the left fielder, batting sixth. Jake Petrin, the catcher, batting seventh. Drew Zafransky, the center fielder, batting eighth. And batting ninth is the third baseman, Nate Donovan.
So going through his warm-ups is Noah Cruz. Out in the mound, the big, strong-looking right-hander for Bristol. And behind the plate is Nick Sassu. McCauley down at the bag at first. Ricky Lemke, the second baseman, Corey Fredette, the shortstop today, and Ben Mazzone playing at third. Zach Marquis, the left fielder. Jaden Rasmus, the center fielder. And Andrew Oshenko is your center fielder here tonight for Bristol. Beautiful night. 3 games in the books already. It was RCP victorious by the score 6-0 over Pittsfield today. Cole Ogazalek went all the way 9 innings and picked up the win in that shutout. It was Shrewsbury, Mass over Brattleboro by the score of 6-1. That was a good one earlier today. Winning pitcher was Matthew Stansky. He worked 6 1/3 of very good pitching. He really did a great job there in the 6 1/3. And Rochester, New Hampshire nipped South Portland, Maine by the score of 4-3 as Joshua Gagney went 9 to pick up the win, allowing just 6 hits. Special thanks to David Greenleaf for passing along the block scores to us and keeping us in the right place.
Yeah, Cumberland, Rhode Island down is sponsored by Upper Deck. They're from Post 86 in Cumberland. They were the defending Rhode Island champions, as you said. They're back here for the 2nd year in a row. 5 of their players were captains on their high school teams, and another 5 finished their freshman season playing college baseball. So, and I guess this is a first-year pickup is Mr. Chris Wright, who we just saw his ability in the first inning. So what a pickup they had this year.
Absolutely, certainly tremendous. So Cruz trying to match him. He's going to face Brodeur, who swings from the left side. Here comes a pitch to the plate, and that first pitch is down low for ball 1. Brodeur out of Cumberland High School, graduated in 2016. Cruz got that fastball in for the strike, and the count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Calabro on deck. Steve Conti, one of the assistant coaches for this Cumberland, Rhode Island team. Mason Palmieri, Mim Pham, and Jay Rainville. Steve Reynolds has a line drive right back to Noah Cruz. Brodeur hit that on the nose, and Cruz, like lightning, stabbed it.
Yeah, those cat reflexes, he had to have them, or else he was going to take that one right off the chest.
Boy, that was a bullet.
Yeah.
Calabro now stepping up to the plate. Our stream a little bit delayed as we watched the review from here, and boy,
yeah,
he got down in a hurry. Got the glove up. Calabro, right-handed hitter. You can tell this Cumberland, Rhode Island team is a workmanlike team. Jersey tops, more of a T-shirt type versus the
the camo sleeves is the first time I've seen that one. It's like it's a one shirt, but it makes it look as if you have a vested with sleeves.
Pitch up and in. Count quickly 2-0. Tyler Walsh on deck for Rhode Island. Winner of this game will play again tomorrow night. The loser will play earlier in the day. Matter of fact, the loser of this game will play Brattleboro Vermont as part of the morning doubleheader. The winner will take on Shrewsbury tomorrow night on the back end of the late afternoon, early evening doubleheader. Ground ball chopped to the third baseman. Mazzone will field it, got it across the diamond in time for the out. Calabro retired, 2 out. Brings up Tyler Walsh.
Yeah, Calabro Don is a 4-year player on this team. He just tries to leg out that ground ball.
So Tyler Walsh, a right fielder to step in. Bases are empty. Walsh went to LaSalle Academy, graduated in 2015, a traditional powerhouse in Rhode Island baseball. Got a couple of guys who are rather young. One player is going to graduate in 2018. That's Zafransky, the number 8 hitter in the lineup here today. Count quickly 0-2 here to Walsh. Chris Wright in the cleanup spot is on deck. Pitch just missed outside. Bringing you 2 camera views here for this game tonight. The GoPro view. the one you're looking at right now. Really takes in most of the field. Ground ball hit towards the shortstop hole and past the dive of Fredette and in the left field. First hit of the ball game belongs to Tyler Walsh, and a 2-out base runner now for Cumberland, Rhode Island, and Chris Wright stepping up to the plate. A good bit of hitting there. Really waited on that nicely.
Yeah, he did, and drove right through that 6-5 hole.
So Wright, who bats left-handed, also throws left-handed. The Cruz pitch down low.
Chris Wright will play his baseball next year at Bryant University. It's a nice pickup for Bryant. Aren't they Division II, Bryant?
No, Division I.
They're Division I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Here comes the 2-0 to Wright down low in the count. Oh, there's going to be a strike call, excuse me. New commander of American Legion here in Connecticut, Louis Robinson, had a chance to talk to Lou during a couple of the events that took place. The super regional finals and the like was a lot of fun. Joe Jackson's going to join us, our National Executive Committeeman. He's out of New Hartford. That ball just hit Chris Wright. You don't want to hit the guy who pitches.
Well, Cruz is DH'd for, so. But you're right, though. You don't want to. You want to put a runner in scoring position. Put it that way.
So Trevor Marks to the plate. He's the first baseman. Big, strong-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Trevor going to Wheaton College.
So Cruz in a bit of trouble now with 2 out and 2 on. Sailed through the the first two batters who came to the plate, although Brodeur hit it really hard right at him.
Trevor is also a pitcher on this team. Probably the biggest team that we've seen Cumberland,
so
Rhode
far.
Island bring here. Yeah.
There's a ball hit right down to the shortstop, fielded nicely by Fredette, and they get the out on the force at the bag at second, and that will end the threat. So there you go. Tyler Walsh with a base hit. The hit batter was Wright, and that's going to do it in the bottom of inning number 1. So we're scoreless through 1. We're back with more American Legion baseball momentarily.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment.
Yeah, welcome right back. Kind of an optical illusion. I thought it was a force out, but Mark actually grounded out 6-3 as Fredette went across the diamond. He motioned towards the bag at second. I looked down to write it in my score sheet, and you reminded me that he threw it across the diamond. So I either thought he was going to touch the bag unassisted or go to Lemke, the second baseman, but he went across the diamond. So there you go, and we're on to the top of inning number 2. Chad Richardson coming to the plate. Fredette, and then Rasmus, the scheduled hitters for Bristol against Chris Wright.
Interesting batting order for Bristol, Don, is Chad Richardson, the cleanup hitter, has 8 RBIs. He's actually 4th on the team in RBIs.
Pitch over for the strike call.
I mean, Chad Richardson is a big power left-handed hitter. He's batting .300 on the year, has a couple of doubles. Goes to St. Paul of Bristol. He graduated this year.
Well, maybe Jerry LaPenta, their head coach, knows something we don't know.
Yeah, kind of
right?
interesting because Troy McCauley is 2nd in RBIs. He's the leadoff hitter. And the leader was Zach Marquis, the 3-hitter, with 20.
There's a swing and a miss. The count goes level at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Richardson. He's a designated hitter today for Bristol. Attending Worcester State. Graduated from St. Paul. He strikes out. Richardson back to the dugout. 3rd strikeout for Chris Wright. And early on, Steve, he looks very
so far, they're just not catching up to him. He's just blowing it by him. He's just overpowering Bristol right now.
Absolutely. He is. Looks very, very smooth out there, does the lefty. That pitch missed outside. Burnett trying to get something going. Bristol still looking for their first base runner. We're in the top of the 2nd.
Now they shift the left fielder over. Way a big down the line left field. They don't think anybody's going to pull the ball. If he hits it down the 3rd baseline, he's going to run forever.
Right to left-hander, the 2-0 pitch. Tad low. Count goes 3-0. Rasmus on deck. Oh, one thing that can disturb a nice flow like Wright has right now
is a walk.
Yeah,
we see what he's like when he's on the stretch if you get a man on. Some pitchers totally different, you know.
3-1, foul tip at the plate. That hit the catcher.
Yeah.
Petrin. I remember him from a year ago. He was a hard-nosed guy,
Tough
wasn't
kid.
he?
Yeah, I remember last year when this Cumberland Farms team, weren't they cheering on Bristol that one night?
That's right.
They were hoping that Bristol would knock off RCP, and Bristol upset RCP, and then Bristol ended up knocking off Cumberland and had to come back and play RCP again. And RCP eventually won, but I remember where Cumberland's players were cheering on that team. Half of those players are gone from this team, but they still got a bunch of new guys that are really good.
3-2 pitch missed outside. Fredette becomes the first base runner for Bristol. First walk issued by Chris Wright. And it brings up Jaden Rasmus, the center fielder.
Jaden Rasmus, 292 on the season. Not bad with wooden bats. You know, all these stats that I'm reciting from different players for Bristol are all with wooden bats.
Absolutely. Mark's trying to hold the runner tight at the bag at first. First pitch snaps into the catcher's mitt for the strike call. The count goes 0-1. Petrin set that target to the outside and right threw it right in there like a laser beam.
Yeah. Rasmus with 7 RBIs on the season so far. 11 walks, 7 strikeouts.
Here comes the 0-1. Down low, and the count now level at 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's our watch Jerry LaPenta, Coach Jerry LaPenta from Bristol down there to left field line.
Fredette with a short lead away from that bag at first with a lefty on the hill. 1-1, swing and a miss. Count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's just firing that fastball, and they're just not catching up to it. You just got to start those hands back earlier and get that foot down earlier.
Yeah, right now the way he's pitching, he really doesn't need to use anything else but that fastball.
Yeah.
Because they try to figure it out. Swing and a miss. And he blazes it by him for his 4th strikeout of the ball game. And it brings up Andrew Oshenko. Oshenko, the right fielder, to dig on in.
Shenko plays his high school baseball at St. Paul of Bristol, the Class S state champion this year. Right?
Throw to the bag at first.
And the state of Connecticut, that was in the high school season.
He'll graduate next spring, 2017, next early summer. Runner goes, pitch away, throw down by Petrin on a bounce. The tag is made, and they're going to say safe. As Fredette with a stolen base. Calabro came over, tried to put the tag on him there. May have bobbled the ball a little bit, too.
Bobbled a little bit, but I think he still would have been safe anyway. Just like a double clutch by the catcher that time, Petrin, as he double clutched it before he snapped it out of the wrist down to second base.
So Bristol now the runner in scoring position here in the top of 2. Swing and a miss, but you got to catch up with that fastball, and the count goes 1-1. Especially when it's up that high. That's a difficult thing to do.
Corey Fredette was second or third on the team with stolen bases. He had 7 going into this game.
Right checks the runner. Here comes a lefty's pitch. Paints the outside corner.
It's just firing it right there.
I wish I had your gun right now, Steve
Yeah, you
Riley.
got to swing. I could tell you what he's throwing.
Okay, go ahead.
Right now, he's
There's
throwing
got to be an app you can put on your phone.
He's throwing about 83.
83, you say?
Yeah, 83, 84. It's not throwing that hard. It's
There's
just
not
deceptive.
an app that goes on your phone?
No.
No, really? There you go.
Maybe
need
have
to
a
develop
stopwatch.
one.
I guess you could do it mathematically, you know. But you can see it's a little bit more deceptive in a night game. The ball
And there's a
always thinks
strike 3 call as he strikes out the side. Schenko caught looking. That's the 5th strikeout of the game for Chris Wright. Only bump in the road, a walk. They strand a runner at the bag at second. We'll be back with the bottom of 2 in your score. I need to change our scoreboard and call it second inning. Let's do that so you all know where we are. We're in the bottom of the second inning when we return.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
All right, my partner Steve Riley. We've been together all day since about 8:30 this morning. We haven't had any arguments yet.
Not yet.
No.
You have made about 6 mistakes, though.
I know. Don't remind me. Got another day tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's the way I
whatever.
look at it. Yeah, another day. I believe in the 4 agreements, so the past is the past. What you think doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, this upper deck post 86 team, Don, as I said, a lot of players coming back. They have that are actually college players. Tyler Walsh goes to Wheaton. Petrin goes to Rhode Island College. Brodeur of going to URI. Calabro goes to Wheaton, and Jason Doris go to Linden State in New Hampshire.
Cruz got the first 2 batters he faced in the bottom of 1, Steve, pretty easily. Then he gave up that single and hit a batter, had to fight out of a little bit of a jam, and he got Marquis to ground out. So now Doris to lead it off, Petrin, and then Safransky to follow. And you talk about that experience. I mean, these are familiar names to us, and how will that play into the remainder of this tournament? Got to get through day 1, first and foremost.
Yep. Some of the players actually play hockey.
Yeah, there you go.
Your sport.
Absolutely.
Jason Doris here. He's at Linden State in Vermont. He plays baseball.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Noah Cruz. Good pitch, worked him away, and Doris goes down swinging. That's the first strikeout for Noah, and it brings up Jake Petrin. So Petrin to dig in. Who's impressed you thus far? RCP did what RCP does. Cole Orgazalek out in the mound. Is that a good measurement with Orgazalek out there in a short tournament like this? I guess he could go again when? Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah, and when you get to the regionals and in the final tournament of Connecticut, don't they expanded the number of innings you could play?
I think it's up to 12 or something
Yeah.
like that. You worked 9 today. Pitch up high.
The good part about it is you didn't have to use anybody else.
That's
so
right.
you keep all your other, especially your better pitchers, the guys that are your starters that you're going to start.
You had to make it through the first couple of days, really, in that winner's bracket side.
They've got a couple of good pitchers besides, Tucker Lord being, right up there with Orgazalic. Roland Tiviarch actually pitches. He was Portland, I believe, #1 pitcher this year, Portland High. And then you have Vales actually out of the junior ranks who also pitches. Then you have Natowski, who had one good outing, then one so-so outing.
Petrin walks. First walk issued by Cruz. Safransky now stepping up to the plate. Drew the center fielder. He'll dig into that right-handed batter's box.
Yeah, the interesting part about this year's tournament, Don, is there's a number of teams, and we've seen them now with Rochester and also with Pittsfield and also here with Cumberland. I mean, not Cumberland. Rhode Island Upper Deck. That we've seen teams have a number of players who came back. So, these are experienced teams. They've been in this tournament before, and they're going to. And then this Bristol team is not a team to poo-poo, so to speak, because they finished second in their zone to a strong Avon team. They have some pretty good pitching.
1-0 down on the dirt. Nice stop by Sassu behind the plate.
And think about the talent that's in Connecticut that's not even here, right? Stanford, for example, at RCP had knocked off. The players on Cheshire who ended up in the semis. I'm sure the same as in all the other states. Whoever was the runner-up or whoever was the third team.
I like this with
a lot of talent.
Coach LaPenta coming out quickly here to try to settle down Noah Cruz. Got the strikeout, then he walked Petrin. Now he's fallen behind Zafransky here.
They just want to get him to reset his concentration level. Coach LaPenta was a minor league baseball player, Don, from 1986 through 1988. He played for the Geneva Cubs in the New York Penn League, the Peoria Chiefs in the Midwest League, the Pittsfield Cubs in the Eastern League. And he was there, so the highest he went was Pittsfield, which was AA at the time. He was a first baseman, third baseman. Would have batting average of .254.
2-0 pitch. Down just a tad low, and the count goes 3-0.
Nice to have a guy come back who played in the minor leagues.
Absolutely.
Players tend to listen to you more when they know that you played and those kinds of things,
3-0 pitch, and that's ball 4. So 2 walks has put runners at first and second with 1 out here. Consecutive walks, and brings up the number 9 hitter, Nathan Donovan. Boy, when you make that number 8 guy that much better of a hitter there by walking him.
Absolutely.
Allowing him to get on.
And then you allow the leadoff guy to come back up, and remember, he rocketed that shot through the middle. So you're putting a guy in scoring position now for free. You're not letting him earn it.
Pitch down low. Sassu another nice stop behind the plate. And right now, Noah Cruz really struggling to find that strike zone.
Yeah, I was watching Cruz warm up. He had to warm up he completed his warm-ups when Rhode Island was actually on the field. So he timed them up correctly, but who knows how long he threw for, because they had the ceremony before the game.
Try to force that pitch over the inside part of the plate, and Nick Sassu wants to go out and have another chat with Noah Cruz. They've already paid 1 visit to the mound from the dugout, so.
Yeah, that's, the one thing you're trying to do here is make it so that if Upper Deck's going to score, that they're going to have to take a long time to do it. You want to really stop momentum from building with batter after batter, because hitting is contagious. And now you're making these guys a 2-0 pitch, and you fall behind the batters. You're up in their batting average, so to speak.
Speaking of good hitting performances, we've had a couple of 3-hit performances today. You had Nathan Ingalls with 3 hits for South Portland, Maine, in their loss today. Certainly put forth a great effort, didn't he?
He certainly did.
Okazalek and Baldwin each had 3 hits for RCP. There's a ground ball hit down to the shortstop. Losing his footing is Fredette. Goes across a diamond and
Nice
got
play.
him. Boy, that's a nice play. Donovan is out 6-3.
Yeah, when that time when Fredette had to go to a little bit to his right, I thought he was actually going to field it and throw to third for the force because it didn't look like he was going to have anywhere else to throw because he slipped. But he recovered well out there and made a long throw to first. That's we've seen a couple guys slip today.
Absolutely.
And this one is a little bit different because the sun went down and you're watering the field. If you look at the color of the dirt out there, it's a little more darker than it was during the game today.
Josh Brodeur to step up to the plate, the second baseman. As you mentioned, he rocketed the ball right up the middle. It was snared by Noah Cruz. If he didn't catch it, he was probably going to be decapitated. That pitch down low.
This is not the guy that you want to fall behind and then
No.
you're forced to throw a strike to. You might as well, if you fall behind him, you might as well intentionally walk him.
And Brodeur, they do have first base open. Runners at second and third with 2 down here in the bottom of inning number 2. And the Cruz pitch, tried a curveball and caught the outside corner. Changed them up just a tad to count 1 ball, 1
Yeah,
strike.
nice backdoor curve that time by Noah Cruz. Noah Cruz pitches for Bristol Central High School here in Bristol, Connecticut. They had a pretty good team the last couple of years.
They did.
Bristol.
They have.
Bristol Central, yeah.
1-1. Tried the same pitch and missed outside. The count goes 2 balls, 1 strike. Calabro on deck. This is Brodeur at the plate for the second time. He's 0 for 1.
It's a critical pitch here because, you know, you got to believe that Brodeur is looking fastball here after he threw 2 curves in a row.
2-1 pitch, and he drives it down the left field line, and it just hooked on him. Boy, he's hit the ball hard twice now.
Yeah, here's the other difference, Don. Because you got runners on second and third and not on first and second or bases loaded, is the umpire situation stays the same. So you have the first base umpire down the first base line still. So when that ball was hit, a home plate umpire would be the only one who can make that call because there's nobody down the line at third base.
Count level at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out. Runners at second and third. Bristol trying to get out of this bit of a jam here. Second consecutive inning in which Cumberland, Rhode Island has put 2 on base. That pitch down low, blocked by the catcher, Sassu, and luckily he blocked it back out towards the pitcher. No advance by anybody.
Yeah, Nick Sassu, a veteran catcher for this Bristol team, did a nice job there, keeping that ball in front of him. Here's a time where you don't want to give in to this hitter. It's a 4-year player for this Rhode Island team.
Full count, 3-2. Runners lead from the bags at second and third. The pitch, ground ball, hit down to the first baseman. Backhanded by McCauley, picks it up, and the bag at first. The race is won by the runner. Brodeur.
The run scores.
So Petrin across the plate. Zafransky to the bag at third. That will be ruled a base hit and an RBI for Brodeur. Good hustle down the line. So McCauley knocked it down. Needed the help of Noah Cruz. Just couldn't outrace Brodeur.
Yeah, and the other thing that didn't help either is he bobbled the ball, so they had to try to time it up at a different point.
Calabro to the plate now. Grounded out his first time. Yeah, kind of went off the heel of his glove when he went to get it. So 1-0 here in the second. Cumberland, Rhode Island jumps out to the early lead. Now runners on the corners. What do you do with Brodeur? It looks like he's got pretty good speed. He won that race from 90 feet away.
Well, there's 2 outs. Many teams will throw it down. With 2 outs, if they do throw it down, the runner will break. Some teams just let him go, so you don't have. The bottom line is you don't want to give up a run. I mean, that's really the key. If he gets the second, he gets the second, but you can't give up a run there.
Nearly did on a throw to first.
The other thing that Noah Cruz has to remember here is you can't do the fake kick to third and then throw to first like you could do in high school because it's not allowed in the major leagues anymore. So it'll end up a balk and the run will score. As most high school players know, they usually do that. Sometimes they'll fake a throw to third hoping the runner breaks to second base.
We'll float some of the scores from games played previously today. Bring you up to speed on day 1 of the Northeast Regional Tournament. The pitch outside. Count goes 1 ball and 1 strike to Calabro. Tyler Walsh on deck has a base hit back in the first inning. Rochester, New Hampshire impressive today in their win over South Portland, Maine, 4-3. Looks like they have a good ace.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Here's the 1-1 curveball. Strike calling inside corner.
Yeah, he was their ace last year too, though,
Yep.
right? So Josh Gagne.
Yep, Josh Gagne.
Yep.
Real tough competitor.
That was a game that could have gone either way there. It looked like New Hampshire was going to be totally in control of that game. Then Maine scored 3 in the 6th, and Rochester came back, got 2 more, take the lead 4-3.
Runner goes, and Brodeur down to the bag at second. The pitch was down in the dirt. There was no chance if Sassu wanted to try to get him.
So now we scored a wild pitch, I would imagine, instead of a stolen base.
They're going to rule out a wild pitch, or they're going to just be a straight steal. Well, that's the official scorer over there. I think he's trying to stay awake like all of us.
Well, let's see what they...
2 balls, 2 strike, and 2
They haven't
out.
written anything yet on iScore.
And the pitch hit up the middle and through for a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll send Brodeur. And the ball eventually picked up by Rasmus. Overran it there a little bit. I don't think that was going to hinder anything. And Brodeur and Safransky score on the base hit by Calabro. And that's 2 RBIs and a 3-0 lead.
Nice piece of hitting there by Calabro. As I said, it's the 4-year player. He's hungry. They were knocking on the door last year, so to speak, and they really want to get through it this year.
So they lead it 3-0. Tyler Waltz to the plate. The back-to-back base hits. Pitch inside. Those walks coming back to really
come back to
hurt.
They always
Noah
do.
Cruz.
Both of them
Yep.
scored. We saw that in one of the last
Yep.
games, I think it was, right? Yep, we saw that in the last game where RCP had a couple of walks that scored. 3 of them, as a matter of fact.
Pitch down low. Sassu another nice stop. Calabro, the only runner on. He's at first. He just cleared the bases with that 2-run base hit.
Yeah, Noah Cruz has not had a lot of control here today. He's thrown 20 strikes so far, down 25 balls. So more balls than strikes, usually that's a recipe for a total disaster.
Well, it has been a disastrous inning.
Yeah.
3 runs on the board. 3 runs on 2 hits. Cumberland, Rhode Island. Game working at a snail's pace right now here in the second.
Nobody in the bullpen for Bristol either.
Down low, and that's ball
It's
4.
another walk.
Yep.
I don't know how much longer he's going to stay with him.
So now you got runners at first and second. Chris Wright to the plate. Well, you got to look at your pitching staff, and you want to figure out. Do you look at it and go, "There's no way we're beating this guy, Chris Wright, tonight. We're not beating him."
Yeah.
And what we're going to do?
It's only
as
the
Chris
second
Wright
inning.
comes to play. Well, I know that, but he looks overpowering right now, and you're down 3. I'm not saying that you give up, but you want to use your pitching staff perhaps wisely.
I mean, it's just the fact that you're giving up the 3 runs. But I mean,
Wright, the 8th batter to come to the plate in the inning. That's fouled up.
I've seen games and coached in games, Don, where just anything just gets a guy can be dominating the performance, and then all of a sudden there's a bunt, and he picks it up and throws it away, and he gets rattled, and everything just collapses on a pitcher. So they're only, you're talking about 17, 18, 19-year-old kids.
Pitch up high.
So, I mean, at this point in the game, Cruz has just thrown too many balls. He's up to, 48 pitches now or so, and
that's going to flatten the feet of his infielders and outfielders a bit, too.
And then it's going to be tougher to make plays. But the bottom line in this tournament is it's so hard to come back from the losers bracket than it is from the winners bracket. In the beginning, this first game is so crucial to teams.
Flags have not moved in center field all day long.
Yeah, especially with 9-inning games. Because you got to play extra games in order to try to take the tournament.
Pitch down low.
We saw that, we were reading about a lot of the teams in their various states where they lose early in the tournament and they end up pitching like 4 games in 2 days in doubleheaders. And
yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Wright hits that high and deep towards right center field. It's going to carry, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. 2 will score. Wright touches the bag at second. He'll put the brakes on with a 2-run double. Oh, he walloped that.
Probably the deepest ball hit here today in Muzzy Field, Don, is that ball was just scorched up there. And that's what happens. You fall behind the hitters. You got to start being. Now all of a sudden you're moving that ball right towards the sweet spot area of a batter, and Wright just crushed it.
So it's 5-0. 5 runs in the inning. 9th batter to come to the plate is Trevor Marks. Marks grounded out his first time. So this Cumberland, Rhode Island team jumping out of the gate.
They're certainly putting a statement on this.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, a team that came pretty close last year. That was a good Northeast Regional tournament a year ago. Ground ball hit down to the second baseman. Lemke will field it and get it onto the bag at first, and that will end the inning 4-3. And 9 to the plate, 5 runs will cross. They leave one on. A couple of big hits. Calabro with a 2-run single, and Chris Wright with a 2-run double. 5-0 through 2 complete now. On top, it is Cumberland, Rhode Island, as they look like they're in command early on over Bristol. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more American Legion baseball. That's all upcoming in a moment. Stay with us.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
All right, welcome right back as we move on to the top of 3. Bristol coming to the plate. They do have some bullpen activity as we speak. Chris Wright working now with a 5-run cushion. He's only given up one base runner here in the ball game. He walked a batter. That was Corey Fredette back in the second inning. Other than that, he struck out 5 of the 6 outs. So he has certainly been overwhelming to these Bristol hitters here through 2 innings of play. 5 runs on 4 hits and no errors for Cumberland, Rhode Island, and for Bristol, Connecticut, no runs, no hits, no errors.
Yeah, so far Christopher Wright, 33 pitches, but 22 of them are strikes and 11 of them are balls. So he's like twice as many strikes as balls. And on the flip side, he had Noah Cruz in that and is now throwing more balls than strikes. I mean, you know, you just can't expect to win games that way. Especially first pitch strikes. If you don't get that first pitch strike, it's so crucial. Because now the hitter gets comfortable. He's looking fastball. And plus, this Rhode Island team has got a number of left-handed batters here.
Lights going on and off inside the press box. A beautiful press box. Haven't mentioned it during this game. Bristol has done a terrific job of the city of Bristol of refurbishing Muzzy Field. They have made all kinds of improvements here, including a nifty press box. And how's that first start? Lemke with a base hit out the right field. First hit of the ball game for Bristol, and they have hope here in the top of the 3rd. It brings up Nick Sassu, the catcher.
Well, there's a ball time that Lemke just says, okay, if you're throwing a lot of strikes, you throw that first pitch fastball in the zone, I'm swinging. And that's what they're doing now.
So they have their first leadoff base runner of the game. Brings up the number 9 hitter, that's Nick Sassu.
Sassu with a 370 batting average, batting 9, so he's like a sleeper at the bottom of the order. .54 at-bats, 20 hits, 2 doubles, 6 ribbies.
Count 0-1. Sassu drives that towards the stands. 4 more games beginning at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll bring them all your way because we're crazy. As long as we don't have extra inning games, it's not all that bad. There's a swing and a miss, and Sassu will go sit down. That is the 6th strikeout of the game for Chris Wright. Brings up the top of the order, and Troy McCauley to the plate and struck out his first time.
Struck out this first 6. He's 6 out of the 9 batters in the Bristol order. He struck out only, out of those 6 strikeouts, only one of them was looking.
Yep.
They're just not catching up to that fastball.
Not at all.
Lemke with a little bit of hitting saying, hey, I'll just hit it the other way then. He met it late, and it drew it right through the hole.
There's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like that's actually a strike either, some of them. You know, the balls are right around the letters of Bristol. They're chasing it, and they can't get that bat on it because they can't swing down on it.
Foul straight back. Ben Mazzone on deck. 1 ball, 2 strike to count. Lemke, who singled to begin the inning, still at the bag at first. At the top of the 3rd.
Chris Wright just continues to try to pound the zone.
Checks the runner. 1-2 pitch. Tried to drop that over the outside corner and just missed it. Count goes level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's walked a batter. That was back in the 2nd. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. That's hit. Down to the second baseman. Scooped up neatly. They get the lead runner and on the first. And safe there. McCauley just legged it out. Reaching on the field his choice. Odor and Calabro nearly turned a nifty double play.
If he was only a little bit later on that pitch, he might have been on the base at the right field. Well, you can see the shift that's going on with the outfielders and a little bit of the infielders. With that, they know that Bristol's behind everything, so they're giving up everything down that left field line, even to the right-handed hitters.
Mazzone of the plate struck out his first time.
The center fielder, Zafransky, shading to right center field.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
With that GoPro look. Here comes the 1-0. Pitch inside. Marquis on deck. Well, Bristol's going to need to chip away and figure out a way to disturb Wright in his rhythm, his flow. That's a thud into the catcher's mitt. Count goes 2-1. Petrin playing catch for the most part with Chris Wright. Fouled off. Another late swing there, Steve.
You know, normally when you have a good pitcher on the mound and you know he's pounding the zone, he's throwing a lot of strikes, you say to yourself, well, like, if I take pitches, I'm just going to be always swinging with 2 strikes. So if he throws that first fastball down there and it's in the zone, it's in, you know, it's where you can get that sweet spot on it, you got to swing. Lemke did it.
2-2 runner goes. That's fouled back off the handle. Very refreshing night. I guess the weather's supposed to take a turn to the humid side as the weekend nears. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out, 1 on.
Well, it's better than what we had in the States where you're always worried, is it going to rain? Is it going to, right? They were concerned that they weren't going to get in all 3 games in the final series, and ultimately got them all in.
The 2-2. Foul back again. Good bit of hitting there by Mazzone to stay alive. Went out and tipped it away. Sometimes that's all you can hope for.
Ben Mazzone, a .385 hitter for this team.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and the strikeout will end the inning. 7th strikeout through 3 innings of work for Chris Wright, and his domination continues. No runs, he had the hit, and 1 runner left on base. Back with the bottom of the 3rd, and Cumberland, Rhode Island leading Bristol 5-0.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
All right, welcome right back as we continue into the bottom of inning number 3, and Cumberland, Rhode Island coming to the plate here. They batted around in the 2nd inning, Steve, and put up a 5 spot and lead it 5-0 here. Leading things off will be Jason Doris. He started the 2nd rather quietly with a strikeout, and then they went to work. A couple of walks kind of ignited things for him.
Well, I mean, Noah Cruz again, he has to throw more strikes to be successful, and so far he's at 55 pitches, 25 strikes, 30 balls, and I don't want to belabor the point, but it's like, okay, you're now in the 3rd inning and you're only up to 55. He obviously isn't going to complete this game, but he has to keep his team close, and he just has to get more first pitch strikes.
Doris, Petrin, and then Zafransky, the scheduled hitters for Cumberland, Rhode Island. So Doris 0 for 1, doing some housework in that right-hander's batter's box. I wonder if he's that helpful at home. I know I'm not. I'm terrible. I'm not good domestically. Are you? Ground ball hit down to the shortstop. Fredette will field it, bobble it. Can't pick it up. That's going to be an error. Hit right at him. That's not a good beginning to the 3rd.
Yep, first error of the game for Bristol. And they got the leadoff runner on again.
Yep, brings up Jake Petrin. He walked and scored back in the 2nd. It's actually the first time in the game that they've had the leadoff runner on.
Yeah.
Noah Cruz is going to have to rework the strike zone and earn one here.
Yep. He can't just throw fastballs behind the count.
That's a good hitting club, too. Ground ball hit down to the 3rd baseman, fielded by Mazzone. They go to 2nd. The ball goes to the outfield. They don't get the runner there on an errant throw, and wow. That's going to be
the
E5.
wheels are coming off.
Absolutely. Now they're at 1st and 3rd.
You wonder what's going through the players' minds at this point. They're trailing 5-0 is not an insurmountable lead, but they're looking at what's happened to them. They're taking their at-bats out to the field, right?
Mm-hmm. And they're a little flat-footed.
Yeah, Mazzone struck out the last inning. He makes an error now.
So your pitcher walks batters in the 2nd, and then you come back and you make a couple errors, not supporting them in the 3rd.
Yep.
You walk 3 batters in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, plus he had a hit batter in the 1st inning.
Yeah. So 5-0 your score. Zafransky today has walked and scored. Pitch inside. Boy, he had to giddy up out of the way there. Here comes the 2-0 down low. Sassu behind the plate. Nice stop. Well, you got Petrin at 1st. Doris at the bag at 3rd. Anything going on here, Steve? 3-0 count. Probably just going to sit and wait here.
I know. Yeah, I know. McCauley's the next pitcher in, so he's at first base right now.
Strike call, count now 3 balls and 1 strike. Five runs in the second, the difference thus far. And that's ball 4, just missed. So 2 errors and a walk has loaded the bases, and Nathan Donovan to the plate, who grounded out his first time. So Donovan to step up and in. Outfield with that little bit of a shift with Wright being dominating.
Yep.
Here today on the mound. His club with a 5-0 lead. Now they got bases loaded and nobody out. Really looking bleak. There's a strike call. Cruz needed that. Might have been a mix-up, however. Sansu wants to go chat.
Yeah, he wants to talk to him.
Yep. So you get a strike and you still get a talking to. What's going on?
Right. Well, especially with a runner on second, you know, they had to get it together. Get the signs together. Maybe they noticed something too.
You got Brodeur on deck.
I don't know. Cruz had something to say to McCauley over there. I don't know what it is.
You ready to take over for me?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 down low attack.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know, if you're a pitcher and you're having a tough time and then your fielders are not really picking you up at all, it's like, okay, what do I got to do now?
Here comes the 1-1 ball chop. Charged by Fredette. Only play to go to first, and he'll get the out there. The run will cross the plate. So Doris will touch home. Donovan retired. It's going to go 6-3 there, Steve, in the lead now at 6-0. That's going to bring up Josh Brodeur. So Brodeur, who singled home a run, back in the second inning to step up to the plate. Pitch missed outside, ball 1.
Brodeur hits the ball hard, as we found out in the first
Yes,
inning.
indeed.
Right? Now you got to move the infield up.
Yep.
And he becomes an even more dangerous hitter.
Runners at second and third here. Ground ball. Nice play by Fredette. Comes home. They got the runner hung up. They got 2 of them at the bag at third there, and one will have to give himself up, and they do. That's Petrin. Well, right there, they thought the ball was going to go through, obviously.
Yeah.
Safransky, the youngest player on the team, ends up at the bag at third. Petrin tagged out.
Yeah, he was better off just staying there at third base, Safransky. If he had tried to go back to second, you could have ended up with a double play there.
It really was a nice play, however, by the shortstop for that.
Absolutely.
So they got 2 out. Brodeur reaching on the fielder's choice to put runners on the corners now. This is Calabro. He had that 2-run base hit back in that 5-run second. Top of the order, really did some damage. There goes a runner. Pitch low and inside. Sassu will just hold on to it.
Yep, stolen base. Well, this is not the way that year. I think it was, 2008 when Bristol last won it? Was that it? They won the Northeast Regional?
That was a while ago now.
Yeah, I remember they were playing their first game at 11:30 at night. They beat Vermont.
2-0 pitch, bounces.
And they ultimately took the tournament.
Nice play by Sassu.
So they jumped out. And that year they jumped out into the winner's bracket and hung on for the title. Here they're in danger of going down to the loser's bracket right away.
There's ball 4. Calabro down to the bag at first. That's going to reload the bases for Tyler Walsh, who walked back in the second.
And out comes Coach LaPenta. I think that's going to be all. I think he's ready to meet him halfway. He said no, and he told him to go back to the mound. Cruz was ready to hand him the baseball.
Yeah, that's his 5th strikeout of the ball game, and it looks like Troy McCauley's going to come on the pitch as he makes his way from the bag at first. So with the apparent pitching change upcoming, we'll pause just momentarily, make sure that's what it's going to be. Indeed it is. So the night is done for Noah Cruz. Back with more in a moment.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
All right, welcome right back. So the new pitcher out on the mound is Troy McCauley. At first base now, Chad Richardson. So McCauley from first base to the mound, Richardson from the designated hitter spot to first base, and Noah Cruz is out of the lineup. There's a ground ball hit down to Fredette. Fields it. Goes to the bag at second. They get the out there, and the inning will come to a close. So good work there by McCauley getting the ground ball for the force out at the bag. 1 run put up on the board to a couple of errors, and 6-0 through 3 complete. It is Cumberland, Rhode Island leading Bristol. And we'll be back with more American Legion baseball in just a moment.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
All right, welcome right back here to beautiful Muzzy Field in Bristol, Connecticut as we move on to the top of 4. Bristol coming to the plate. They trail 6-0 to Cumberland, Rhode Island, and my pleasure to have Joe Jackson alongside. Joe, just want to make sure I get it all right here. Beautiful picture, by the way, on the website. National Executive Committeeman representing the state of Connecticut, and welcome aboard once again, and good to see you. Give you that handshake to get it official. And obviously you love baseball, and here you are. Beautiful Muzzy.
I've been coming to Muzzy Field. My first opportunity here to see Bristol play was in 1988 when I was the state commander. And that year, Connecticut actually hosted a regional as well as a a national World Series. We used both of the two good ballparks here in Connecticut, and was quite overwhelming. Talk a little bit about some of the people that used to be in charge here. Doc Gilhooly was a renowned name on baseball associated with the Bristol club here. And I had a little interview with him prior to the regional starting, and he actually had a format that we followed, which I think was quite a good asset to it. And the first night, we actually sat here, and they had a doubleheader, and Bristol won one of those games, and then the Connecticut team also won that night. So they ended up ultimately playing against one another, and Bristol went on.
And Bristol went on.
Yeah, so small world, but getting smaller. But I've been watching RCP last couple of games of the state playoffs, and seems like they have a magic number there around inning number 7, 8, 9. They come to life, and they seem to make it all happen. Sometimes I guess all you need is that one click of the success, and then everything falls into place. But I think we saw some good baseball here today. This is the fourth game. I managed to catch 3 of them, and it looks to me like we got a good group of competitors from the various states. We have 2 teams in from Massachusetts this year, and I think their teams look like they're strong. I hope that we all get a fair game and have one of our best days. That's what it's all about.
Well, we certainly got terrific weather today. It's absolutely perfect. I can't remember a better day weather-wise.
No, today actually is a perfect day, and I was thinking as I drove down here today, I says, there's been times I've been here I needed to have long pants on, and
yep.
I said, well, I got shorts in my car, but I decided to wear them as I came down, and it's been just a great time here, and I think that we're going to see something happen here. Rhode Island certainly came here to play ball. There's no doubt about that. They seem to be a good key player.
Yeah, you got
team.
Chris Wright, who's the lefty on the mound right now, already has 8 strikeouts. We're in the 4th. Marquis struck out Richardson at the plate now. Well, you got to, as a former state commander, you certainly know what Louis Robinson has in front of him as our new state commander here in the beautiful state of Connecticut. And what a nice guy out of Hartford.
He is, and it's ironic. We just found out today one of our national commanders is going to visit the state of Connecticut. Is actually going to be in October. We were going to have him arrive on the 2nd and have him for 3 or 4 days, and we just found that out. So we were sitting over there in the ballpark a little while ago, kind of figuring out events to take him to, and I said, well, unfortunately, we won't be any ball games, but anyway, we probably will take him to Sikorsky Helicopter for a tour, and maybe we'll take him up to the Air Guard because he was an Air Force officer when he was in the military, and he's from the Department of Oregon, and he's really a great guy. Charlie Smith's his name, and he's already replied to us that he's going to be on hand in Shelby to see whoever we send down. And last night at the opening dinner, I hoped that somebody that would win from here would bring back the Northeast the championship from the World Series. I said we haven't had that yet.
No, we haven't. It's getting closer, however. New Jersey's had a pretty good team over the last couple of years, and they've won some World Series. So
they have. And, I did get a chance in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. I was down visiting some people. We went to a ballpark, and it was a Legion game, and I can't remember the town. I'm going to say something like Cherry Hill or something like that was the name on the team, on their jackets. And, boy, they were a regular little spit. They looked like a small team, but they were really playing some pretty good hardball. And so if they come up from Cherry Hill, I'll know something about those guys.
That's right, exactly. How about Chris Wright? He just struck out 2, got a ground ball out right back to the mound, and had an easy 1-2-3 inning as we move on to the bottom of the 4th, and Cumberland, Rhode Island coming to the plate. Joe, obviously you get a chance to work with Louis Robinson, and then you guys will travel together out to Indianapolis to the main office, the home of American Legion, and got to kind of show them the ropes in the beginning. Take us through that relationship. You got the local leader, and you certainly represent Connecticut.
Actually, Louis has been a 3-time commander of District 1, which is where we are right here now, Harford County. And he's also been a chairman of Children and Youth. And Children and Youth is more than just a walkathon that you hear televised on radio all the time. It does include baseball, speaking contests. And Louis been firsthand on learning that up to this point. And he also sits on a committee, Unconventional Forces. So he does get a call from time to time to either go to our Washington, D.C. office or our Indianapolis office to set in on a meeting and get the latest skinny on the military and what we're doing today to make it better. But when you actually get crowned the commander, it's a big step in time. For the first time, you all of a sudden now you're in charge of 20,000 people in the state, and when they find out the name of the new commander and where you live and everything, you're going to get some pretty lengthy phone calls. Everybody wants to know what you can do for them.
Wow. I know that one of the things, the push is for new membership, young membership, is Chris Wright, who's pitching a marvelous game, drives one to the gap in left center field. Boy, he's a marvelous ball player, isn't he? He's in the second, and he'll stop there. Bristol had some trouble picking that ball up, and now they missed the cutoff, and throw comes into Mazzone at third. So their difficulties continue here. Chris Wright with back-to-back doubles now in 2 consecutive plate appearances, and brings up Trevor Marks. They're trying to put this game away pretty quickly here, Joe.
Yeah, it's exciting, and to come in and not to have a lot of your fans up in the stands, but I'm sure by tomorrow the word will be out how they played today. I'm sure somebody will drive down. Rhode Island's only about 78 miles from this ballpark to get in here, so. I talked to a former baseball director from Shields Post number 2 in Rhode Island. He says, I think we got a good team here, so I guess he gave me a good tip earlier.
Looks like Marks was hit by a pitch, and he's down to the bag at first. And I would imagine Wright will go back to second. He does. So now you got runners at first and second. Jason Doris to the plate. We're going back, and it's really important to bring new blood into American Legion. And, we're talking about what Louis wants to do. How do you help? What's your relationship in helping that type of mission?
Okay, well, when we have a out-of-stater visit Connecticut, it's a national officer job or the alternate to help the commander, take the guy. First of all, we try to get a rundown what the interests are of the individual. Some of them want to go see the VA system in Connecticut. Some want to go visit Legion Post. Some people like these meet and greet deals and meet as many Legion people as they can. Some like to come in when we're having one of our contests. But this commander is one of the few that has come directly from the NEC ranks, just like I am personally. He's same title as I have. And now he's going to make a big step at national. And similar to what Louis has done here in Connecticut. But there again, we have past national officers, too, that will do the same thing with him. But everybody's pretty well equipped. And the great thing today is the social media and the use of the Internet. We know in 5 minutes' time what's going to be happening at the next ballpark or where somebody's going to be at a meeting. I mean, we're so much better connected today than we used to be. Used to be everything was snail mail and invitations, and we had to carry our briefcase with you, and you had to be like a Philadelphia lawyer with 3 hands. Hard to do. Louis is going to do very well. He's a well-liked individual. He meets people quite well. He did something kind of extraordinary last year. He organized a walk for veterans, and we started at the Arch in the park down here in Hartford behind the Capitol, and we actually marched all the way up to. Got that?
I got that. Doris bunted foul, and he's retired, so you have 1 out in the inning, and Petrin to the plate with 2 on.
So we actually walked up to Louis' home post, which is McKinney King Post 142. It's 2121 Main Street. And we kind of picked up some walkers as we walked. And some people thought that what would be the advantage of it? Well, it's brand recognition. You get brand recognition out there. They see a bunch of people walking with a Legion emblem, whether it's on your ball cap or on your shirt or on the marker plate of your car. And they ask, and that's what you need to do. That's the best way to meet people. And then we have kind of, I call it a hit list. You kind of tell people what we offer. And youth of this country is our main goal. But, all the programs that we have, like Legion Baseball, is probably, I would say, definitely number one. And then the boys' state and girls' state, they go away to a college for a week, and they learn to run a mock government. And some of those people get an introduction. Also, we have a state police youth week where they actually go to boot camp at the academy here in Connecticut, and it's a good intro.
Wild pitch will advance runners here, Joe, to second and third. So Petrin now has 2 in scoring position.
Well,
I've been there to Middletown, and
yes,
to the police academy where they hold the event, and it's nerve-wracking when you go in there. They treat you really tough, like you're in the military, right?
We do. Same if you can get over to Boys State and spend a day with David over here. He does a bang-up job with that program, and we had a past national commander who runs Boys Nation for us in Washington, D.C., Robert Turner. And he's been a friend of mine for a long time. We served as commission people together years ago, and I said, we need to have you come to Connecticut and spend a few days, and he loved it. I expect we'll be able to get him back again someday. Maybe we can get Dave to go down there and visit him a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a few days. It'd be good. One hand washes the other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And events are what we live off of, we're coming on being 100 years old here in 2019. And we're kind of undecided what we really need to do. Louis is trying to formulate maybe a huge parade here in Hartford, a standalone parade for just the American Legion, instead of tagging it on to some other event. But that's going to take some work, logistics to work it out. I mean, because you don't understand the fact you got to have police and
That's right.
ambulance
A lot of work.
and a meeting place and bus transportation. Nothing's easy, but put some guys into a challenge situation. They do a great job.
Petrin just strikes out, so now you have 2 out runners at second and third, and here comes Safransky to the plate. He's up for the 3rd time in the ball game. He has walked twice, so officially has not had a plate appearance as of yet. Has scored a run. That pitch inside from McCauley had him twisting out of the way. Joe Jackson joining us, of course, represents Connecticut at the national level, and certainly is nice to have you spend some time with us here throughout this game. And Bristol, of course, is really one of the premier posts, isn't it? When you take a look, they set a great example. I know they do a great job.
They do. Bristol Post 2 is close to 800 members every year, give or take. And when it's synonymous, when you say Bristol Post 2, you say baseball as well, because it goes back, and the Post has made a rivalry around the Northeast by Bristol baseball team, and they've always had a great connection here with Muzzy Field, and they've always represented well when they go on the road. They're really a sharp group of people, and has been really no break in the action. We lost a couple of the founders, but with Art Ward and Paul LaFleur and Dave here, you have
a good foundation.
A good foundation to keep it going
Yeah.
for a long period of time, and that's a legacy of a good, well-run program. Everybody says baseball is baseball. That's not really true. If you play Legion baseball, it kind of looks good on your resume wherever you go.
Absolutely.
And you will get looked at by somebody somewhere.
Count 3-2, the pitch down the dirt, and that's ball 4. That's going to load the bases here. So Safransky walks for the 3rd time, brings up the number 9 hitter, Nathan Donovan. Joe, you mentioned 100 years of American Legion, and it's amazing. Has the mission statement changed all that much from day one to this point in 100 years?
Well, when years ago, I guess we say our mission statement before we start every one of our meetings. It's part of our opening ceremony. And the only thing we've ever made a change on in 100 years, as we have added a few lines in there to not forget the POW and the MIAs. That's been added. But other than that, the ritual, if you want to use that word, of the opening ceremony has been the same. I think people get that part. And for some people, first thing you learned when you went in the military is do things by the numbers. And that's exactly what you do. You set up your meeting by the numbers. And then as the commander calls on his baseball chairman or his boys state chairman or oratorical chairman to get up, it unfolds into a pretty formal meeting. But we have a situation today where young people get out of the military, and I don't think they're worried about joining a veterans group right away. They want to use the VA system, obviously, because that's the right thing to do. But they got to get that family started. And if they get it started, there is such a position as a soccer mom, a dad baseball guy, or a scout leader. I think you have to work through into the 40s before you actually can just set aside and be a Legion member and be an active one. I found that myself. We had 2 Girl Scout troops that we supported, and it just was, sometimes we camp degrees and so forth like that, and outings and traveling, and then we had one girl that was actually a pretty good speaker. She tried a couple of the programs, so we had to cart her around, and it all looked good because it helped her when she went to college.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
And you know, you can get into college today if you play baseball or basketball or any game sport.
Ground ball out just ended the bottom of the 5th inning here as we continue on. Actually, we're bottom of the 4th inning. Let me just change the scoreboard here, Joe, and we'll take one quick break, and we'll be right back and finish up with Joe Jackson, who's been terrific hanging with us. And let's just take that break. We'll be right back.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
All right, welcome right back, and Joe Jackson with us. It's been a pleasure to have him sit through the 4th inning. And Joe, you're just talking, and you made a couple of big points. We were just talking off air for a minute. The volunteers and the folks that make it happen, the folks who come visit, say, a Muzzy Field here in Bristol, and say, well, it's easy, but it's not easy.
No, it's very, very hard work. And, you know, they work on this from the time the last game is played until next year's season opens to get it done. And they try to keep in touch with your team players. You know, every once in a while when they get a certain age, you'd lose them. And I think it's been good that baseball here, we actually have, like, you could say 3 divisions. We have the 19 and under and the 15 and under. And then, you know, we get the kid through his whole life of ball playing.
That's right, because I mean, it's a junior level too, which is great, or what they like to call the junior. It's a nice feeder system, a stepping stone from the 15s on up to the 19s.
It is. And what I notice is the people that have been involved with this, majority of them, their kids are too. I mean, there might be somebody that gets away from it, but I think if Dad played ball, he would want his boys to play ball. And so we have the family concept for a while, you know. And then I was walking by a bunch of people from RCP over here. You could tell their kids were all related, but they were here to see their brother play, you know. And there's a couple of them that probably are going to play. There probably was an older one that had already played, you know. And I heard him talking pretty sincere to his little brother there, you know. what he should have done or something, and I didn't get in on that part. But I thought, well, you know what? That's probably 8-10 people that came here because of that.
That's right. Absolutely.
And hopefully wherever he goes to school, he'll get to be a starter on their ball team. That would be good. I'd like to be that way.
Absolutely. So this is Jaden Rasmus at the plate here in the top of the fifth for Bristol. They're trying to post a run, trailing by the score of 6-0. Oshenko and then Lemke scheduled to follow. Ground ball hit down to Calabro, the good-looking shortstop, got it across the diamond, one down. I'm very impressed with this Cumberland team. Who do you like so far? I mean, it's only day one. This game isn't completed yet, but if you're going to go out on a limb, who's going to represent the Northeast, do you think?
Well, I know that we're getting closer with our primary Connecticut team. They've played good ball toward the end, but the team that finishes second place here in Connecticut, Stanford, I thought was a well-represented team, and they play with a lot of heart. But when you get to the finals here, there's a lot of logistics as to having the right sequence of people start the game. And there are a few rules there that you can't run everybody the same way every day. And so it takes a great coaching staff, actually. And then, every player could have a good day or a not so good day, and you have to have your A game and bring it to the plate, I guess, as they say. And I always felt that sooner or later we're going to have a dominant team. They've made about 2 or 3 appearances. I know we had several appearances years ago from the Brantford team.
Yeah, they were very good too. Absolutely.
And actually, the fathers of 3 of those boys actually was my neighbor in my neighborhood out in New Hartford, and he played ball when we had a couple of our neighbors also playing ball, and they all hang together, and they still. Even though their kids are in their 20s now, they still all get together and go support whoever they can on baseball. And you have natural coaching ability there. I mean, you were something you did different than I did. Well, you're the guy to coach that shortstop or the cutoff man. Or what are you going to do here? And I just thought that that was a great thing to see these people again and to see the third generation.
It's amazing, isn't it? It also means you're getting older, Joe.
Yes.
yeah.
We're all
Let's not forget about that part of it too.
We're all getting
we
older.
all are getting a little bit older, which is amazing. But we're still here. We're breathing. That's the important thing, right? Oshenko to the plate, and that's fouled back. We're here in the 5th.
I know we have out in Riverton, Connecticut, we have a couple beautiful little ballparks, and they're kind of like way away from nowhere. But I found out that there are.
Here's the ball rocketed down the left field line, really turned on the right offering, and Oshenko digging for 2. The ball finally collected by Doris in left field. And that's going to be a double. That's a loud double.
Yeah. And I found out that the American Legion Post owns both of the fields, and they actually lease them to the town.
Oh, really?
For a nominal fee every year.
Yep.
And so I went there and I watched a couple of Little League games, and they got a small field too. And I saw a lot of gray hairs there. Well, that's because it's the grandsons that's playing now.
That's right. Yeah.
And so it starts somewhere, and I said, "Geez, what a beautiful place! It's a sanctioned park and everything." But I said, "It's at the end of American Legion State Forest. You're almost in Massachusetts.
Really?
It's a beautiful area out there. It's actually on the road from Legion State Forest, which is 4.5 miles of a catch-and-release fly fishing stream runs right behind the ballpark. And
oh, really? That sounds beautiful. I've never been there.
Well, you should take a ride out.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I'll give you the garden tour.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I know how to get a hold of you, too.
Yeah, and I'll take you to a couple of the ballparks I played on. So we have.
Oh, that'd be fun. Fun.
We have one in Winston there, Walker Field. The Walker family, after the flood there, they turned all of their land over to be made into several ballparks.
What is it about baseball that keeps bringing you back?
Well, I wanted to play better, but, hard to believe today, but when I started in high school, I was too small for contact sports. I didn't have a growth deal until I was like 19. So it limited me to what I could do. shortstop was the only position that would let me play. And I could, if I got on it pretty good, I could just about get it out to the grass line out there. But I still always liked the game. And as I grew up, I helped a couple of guys coach, and I said, you know, it came too late. But so it kind of got me more into playing soccer and running and that sort of thing. And they say that's not a contact sport either, but you sure got to be in shape.
Absolutely. You got to do some running. How about Ricky Lemke with a base hit there in Bristol now? Runners on the corners here in the top of the fifth, and is starting to get the Chris right a little bit, trailing 6-0.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you look at that scoreboard, Joe, and you go, you know what? This is dismal. There's no chance, but there's 9 innings. There's no clock.
That's right.
Chance to come back.
Even in the major leagues, you see sometimes when you go to bed at 11 o'clock because you don't watch the last
That's
two innings,
right.
you think it's all done deal.
You wake up and you go, what? I don't believe that.
The news the next morning, it was a big upset, 5-run inning or something like that.
Sassu to the plate here with runners on the corners. You think Bristol will be aggressive here on the base path now, or is there something there where they're just going to try to go station to
Bristol's
station?
always had a team that when they get a run, then they can follow up on it. They just haven't got a good break here. Nobody's been able to make their deal happen, but don't count them out.
This is really their best chance to put a run up on the board right here against Chris Wright.
They got...
He struck out 9, gets a ground ball, goes a second for 1, and on the first, and ball is dropped at first base by Marks.
Well, it's one anyway.
Yep. Oshenko will cross. Sassu reaching on the fielder's choice. Lemke retired. 1-6. Well, they got a run to make it 6-1 here in the fifth. Good hustle down the line by Sassu. You love that. Yep.
Yes, it was.
Troy McCauley to the plate now. Well, let's see if they can keep it going. Got to root for the home team, right, in baseball.
We got to root for Bristol. We're
Absolutely.
in Bristol. God.
Can't go any other way.
No,
they won't allow us back in town.
Especially after this. What do you think about this new facility and the way they fix it up here? This is great.
I'm glad you brought it up. It's beautiful. Beats climbing those 60 steps or so, isn't it, up to that press box? It's about 3 stories up.
You're short on breath when you get up over there. You're in light air, too.
That's right. Yeah, they have refurbished Muzzy Field for those folks who haven't been here. A brand new press box. It's great for the press.
It is, and I know people that will come on an overcast day or something. Now there's more covered grandstands. They'll set it. They won't take a chance in the open stadium sitting out there because you could get some dew on you or get little sprinkles here and there, even though it's not enough to interfere with the game.
Keeps you out of the sun a little bit, too.
It does. It does.
It was Sassu taking second base, so now he's in scoring position for McCauley. Another base hit, and they're crawling back into this game. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs.
The only thing I noticed, I was up here earlier, they may have to get what they call a filter shade. You got so much glass here, you need to have that little...
You should talk to my partner, Steve Riley, about that, because he's in total agreement with you.
Okay. Well,
see, I like all the sun. Make it like a prism. Make it, just soak it all in. Line drive, how do you do? Nice play by Chris Wright. And McCauley robbed of a base hit on a line drive right back up the middle. You got to love it when pitchers
But
can
you
do
know
that.
he's walking away with a smile on his face. He knew the minute he hit that was going to happen.
He hit it pretty good. I'm going to bring my man Steve Riley back into the fold here, Joe. Thanks for joining us as always, and we're here all weekend, so come on back up.
I'll be here all day Friday and Saturday, and tomorrow night I'll be so.
All right, come on back up, and we'll chat some more baseball and have some fun.
We have a new guy in our office, our new adjutant. He got a ball team started over in Wolcott, and they did pretty good now for 2 years. I think he should come up and talk a little bit.
Absolutely. Would love that. Would absolutely love that.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
Anytime, Joe. You know that. Joe Jackson, shoeless Joe Jackson joining us. And, well, he's got shoes on, right? Let me see, Joe. Yeah, you got the shoes on. We'll take a quick break, Will. That's right. All right, my pleasure to have Joe Jackson joining us, of course, the National Executive Committee man. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
SportingNewsCT.com is now streaming your team's big game. SportingNewsCT.com is Connecticut's broadcast home for high school sports, college sports, and American Legion baseball. Whether it's football, soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball, softball, or lacrosse, we stream it live. Can't watch the game live? Then check out our on-demand rebroadcast. Want a keepsake? Download an audio broadcast or order a DVD. There's more. SportingNewsCT.com features interviews with coaches, players, and administrators. The game's on. SportingNewsCT.com. SportingNewsCT.com is now streaming your team's big game. SportingNewsCT.com is Connecticut's broadcast home for high school sports, college sports, and American Legion baseball. Whether it's football, soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball, softball, or lacrosse, we stream it live. Can't watch the game live? Then check out our on-demand rebroadcast. Want a keepsake? Download an audio broadcast or order a DVD. There's more. SportingNewsCT.com features interviews with coaches, players, and administrators. The game's on. SportingNewsCT.com.
All right, welcome right back as we continue with our coverage of American Legion baseball. Really nice to see Joe stop on by for an inning and a half there and brought Bristol some luck, which is great news. 6-1 you score into the bottom of the fifth inning, and Cumberland coming to the plate. Don't shake his hand. He's got a real strong hand.
Yeah,
He broke
like
my finger.
very nice guy.
Yes, indeed.
First inning, Don, that Chris Wright did not strike out a batter was last inning. And I've been looking up some information about Chris Wright. The colleges that were interested in him were Boston College, Bryant, Fairfield, Georgetown, Stony Brook, and UConn.
Mm-hmm.
And he's committed to play at Bryant. 3.3 grade point average for the young man. And his Rhode Island state rank for teams looking at him his overall rank was 7. Quite a bit. You know, the perfect game has recorded him as an average fastball at 81, and back in October of 2015 they had him at 87, and his best, they're claiming, is 98.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's hard to believe, but
Absolutely.
I can see that it must have been on a very hot day, I would imagine, or a warm day, but he's getting it up there in the mid to high 80s here today. And Bristol finally starting to get the foot down and get that hands back earlier so they can start putting the bat on it. And Ashenko ripped that double and ended up scoring a run.
This is Brodeur answering with a base hit to start the bottom of the fifth inning. Josh Brodeur is having himself a nice day. On base for the third time. A couple of singles, got an RBI, a stolen base. Brings up Tyler Calabro. Calabro has a 2-run single to his resume back in the second inning.
You know, if you analyze this game, Don, other than all the walks, hit batters, ground balls, errors, the big hitters for Rhode Island is Calabro with the double and the RBI. Then Chris Wright has gotten 2 doubles of his own. One of them really busted the game open after the 2 walks, an infield single, a single with an RBI, a walk, and a two RBI double in the second inning, which really sort of put the game far ahead for Rhode Island. But other than Chris Wright,
there's a ground ball hit, a nice big hop. Fredette can't make a play. Kind of lost a handle to it there. Was looking for maybe the force at second to Lemke, and I thought that was going to be hit hard enough and good enough for a double play try.
Yeah,
Instead,
just couldn't get it out of the glove.
Yep. And they're going to give him I
sure
believe they're going to charge him with an error.
Sure.
Yeah, they do.
Yep,
it went up on the board there. Kind of waiting for it.
But, I mean, if you look at the scorebook, you sort of look at it and say to yourself, okay, if not for Chris Wright's his double that banged everything around and a 2 RBI single, it's all errors.
There's a base hit up the middle by Tyler Walsh. They're going to send the runner around the bag at third. That's Brodeur, and he'll come home and score. So an RBI base hit for Tyler Walsh. That's his second hit of the ball game. And you got runners at first and second, nobody out, and Chris Wright stepping up to the plate. Well, they're really starting to.
Yeah, and there you could have got out of that in a double play, and instead they get another run at 7-1.
So here's Chris Wright, the pitcher. As you mentioned, he's got a couple of doubles today, 2 RBIs.
And the thing about Chris Wright, Don, is his 2 doubles. One was to right center gap, and the other's to the left center gap.
So he's got some power to the alleys.
Yeah.
So Brian over BC and some of the others, probably a real good fit for him if you really want to stay competitive and have a chance to perhaps play some baseball.
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you, UConn, an up-and-coming program for baseball, Don. They've made the playoffs a few times, right? I mean,
yeah, but you got to be self-evaluate sometimes. You may think you're good enough for a particular program, and there might be another one that actually is a better fit in the long run, from a social aspect and the like, too.
Maybe.
I guess,
If I threw the ball 89 miles an hour and I was a left-handed pitcher, when my best is a 98 mile an hour. I mean, his average is only 81. That's what's kind of strange to me. Is this kind of funny where you have
that's a big
top
disparity.
out at 87, your best is 98, and then you have your average fastball in 2000. That was 2015. 2016, his average fastball was 80. His best was 98. But I will say this much, Don, and it's not since Matt Carasetti was pitching for Berlin. What was that, 2007 or 8 or so, somewhere back there? Have I seen anybody throwing that hard in the Northeast Regional as this young man, Chris Wright?
Pitch fouled off. Yeah, he does throw it pretty hard, doesn't he? He's at the plate, and he hits it pretty well, too.
Yeah. And he's only, I think, 18 years old, if that.
So right now, trying to break this game wide open. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 7-1. It is kind of wide open. They got a big shift on for him. Boy, down that left field line, if he hits it, slaps it down the line, he could run forever.
That's the other thing we haven't seen in this tournament, Don, although that's a shift of the outfielders. We haven't seen anybody employ the crazy odd shifts that we saw in high school.
No.
Nobody has said, let's put all the guys over on this side of the field. And
3-2 pitch, and he skies that high up in the air down the right field line, drifting into foul play, and never left the ballpark.
I was watching a game between Wolcott, who was the Class M state champion this year in high school in Connecticut, and they play in Naugatuck, and Naugatuck put to a lefty batter of Wolcott's. They put a short fielder out there in right center and took the left fielder and moved him to short field, put the second baseman on the edge of the grass. The first baseman was almost in right field. I mean, it was incredible, the shift that they tried, and he ended up getting a double to left field. So you just don't know.
Pitch high and outside, and that's ball 4. So Chris Wright will walk to the bag at first. That's going to load the bases here. Still nobody out in the inning.
Yeah, McCauley's has decent speed himself. His own worst enemy sometimes is himself. He seems to get bothered by batters who step out, batters who do things, something in the infield. You can see he's a very animated type pitcher at times.
This is Mark, Trevor Marks to the plate. He's been hit by a pitch, grounded out, and a little pop up there to the first baseman.
Yeah, that pitch was very close, that curveball down and in. I mean, this batter has his left foot on that line. How far in could it have been?
Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike as he gets a strike call here.
Yeah.
Marks looks like he could really hit it a long way if he gets a hold of it. McCauley with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Big swing and a miss. He was trying to clear the park with that one.
Toughest thing to do is to have the fielders up on the corners here. Look at, you have the third baseman back. The first baseman is on the edge of the grass. This is a left-handed hitter, right? So if I'm the first baseman, I want to go home with the baseball. But if I'm the third baseman, I want to go home with it. So I don't know.
There's a ground ball slapped down to the second baseman, fielded by Lemke, and on the first, and they get the out. That's one out in the inning, so Marks will reach on the. Actually, he's retired, isn't he? 4-3. And the run will come
and the run
home.
Scores.
Yeah, Calabro scores from the bag at second. Now you got runners at second and third, and it's 8-1. Just one out, and Doris to the plate.
And look who scored. The runner who got on the E6.
Yep. Wright, who walked his in scoring position at second. That ball is hit right to the third baseman. Nice play there by Mazzone. He tried to double up the runner at third, Walsh, but he got back in the nick of time and quickly 2 out. Brings up Jake Petrin. Petrin has walked, reaching in there and struck out today. Scored a run.
5 of the batters for Rhode Island down that either walked or got on by an error have scored.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the offering. A little high for ball 1. Cumberland's taken advantage of
every mistake.
Everything that's been given to him. Ball hit high, a long way out the left field's going to hang up there, though, and coming over to make the catch. Who made the catch? You have the center fielder cut in front. I think it was the center fielder, Rasmus. They're going to be the left fielder, Marquis. Okay, so kind of got lost here, blinded by the cutting Rasmus in front of him there. So long fly ball out. That was pretty to watch that ball going out there, and that's going to do it. So 2 more runs posted on the board. We are through 5, and it is 8-1 back with the top of inning number 6. It's all Cumberland, Rhode Island right now.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American...
Who's in right field?
Welcome right back as we continue. Some changes for Cumberland, Rhode Island here in the top of the 6th inning. Nicky Crow has come on to relieve Chris Wright. So Wright working a total of 5 full, Steve, and he'll leave with an 8-1 lead. And they're making some changes here.
Yep, Chris Wright threw a total of 70 pitches, 46 strikes, 24 balls, almost twice as many strikes as balls. But that's, that's probably what they're doing with a young man. Keep him around 70 pitches. They have an 8-1 lead. Why not?
And leading things off here for Bristol will be Ben Mazzone, the number 2 hitter in the lineup. He's 0 for 2. He's probably very happy to see Chris Wright out of the lineup. He has struck out twice.
Yeah, a lot of college coaches like to see their pitchers throw, 75 pitches a week in some of these leagues.
Quickly, the count goes 0-1. Mazzone, Marquis, Richardson, the scheduled hitters. So another lefty. They go with Wright. Now they come back with Crow.
Yeah, they put Wright is out in right field maybe, or is he at first base? No, he's not at first. He must be in right field, yeah.
They're taking Tyler Walsh out of the ball game. Is that what they did?
No, Tyler Walsh went to left field, I think.
Left.
So he must have taken Jason Doris out of the ball game.
Swing and a miss right there. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on the zone. Third baseman for Bristol. 8-1 your score here in the top of the 6th. Game 4. Back again tomorrow for 4 more. Workload gets a little easier on Friday. Get to sleep in a little bit there, Steve.
On Friday, yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Mazzone, leading things off here in the 6th. Swing and a miss, and Crow picks up where Chris Wright left off with a strikeout. That is the 10th time a Bristol batter has struck out here today. That's the first for Crow. Brings up Marquis, who's 0 for 2. The lights are on, obviously, with darkness upon us here in Bristol, Connecticut. They've been on for a while. Just a perfect night. Ballpark looks gorgeous in the nightlight. Long look into the windup. Nicky Crow. Quite a difference in his pitching style compared to Chris Wright.
Whereas Nicky Crow has that long arm throw. It takes a while to get the motion around.
Here comes the 0-2. Pitch popped up first base side. Marks over. It's on top of the dugout roof. No chance to get to it. Count remains 0-2. 1 out, bases empty. If everything remains the same and Cumberland goes on to the win here, they would play tomorrow night versus Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. That'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it would be.
Ball hit to center field, floating on back, making the catches. Lafransky for the out, and you have 2 down. Marquis gave it a pretty good ride, but right to the center fielder. The loser, which if it's Bristol, they'll play to remain in the tournament versus Brattleboro, Vermont tomorrow as part of the morning doubleheader. But there's still a lot of innings left here, Steve.
You never know. I mean, now that you got Mr. Wright out of the ball game.
That's right.
But Crow has picked up where he left off.
This is Richardson with the bases empty. Yep. Curveball.
Real slow pitch there.
Absolutely. Just getting used to that fastball from Chris Wright. Now you got to deal with this guy. Fouled off.
Pulled that almost right into the Rhode Island dugout.
Really appreciate all the folks who have been with us throughout the day. And the 1-1, another curve up high. Using the Google live stream. Great thing about that, within a few hours, the game is back up online for you to watch. Here comes the 2-1. That's down low. Count now, 3 balls and a strike to Chad Richardson. Fredette on deck. That ball hit high up in the air. Is it going to hang up and up? Nope, it's in for the base hit. Calabro went out. Outfielders converge. Falls in between, and Richardson has a 2-out single. Brings up Corey Fredette. Good bit of hitting there by Richardson.
Yeah, he took that inside pitch and just fisted it out to left center. Wonder what would happen with a wooden bat in that scenario. Richardson likes to crowd. He's got an open stance, and he's got that back foot near home plate, and sometimes tough to pitch to him.
Yep. Ground ball fouled off.
Because you try to get that fastball inside on his hands, and sometimes you miss and you hit the guy, especially with the right-handed pitchers.
For that, we'll take the pitch outside for ball. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Corey in the ball game has walked and grounded out back to the pitcher, Chris Wright, when he was in. Right now playing right field. Ball hit on a sinking liner. Nice play by Donovan, and onto the bag at first for the out. He stayed right with it and took it on that short hop, the shortest of short hops, and Fredette thrown out 5-3, and that will end the inning. So no runs. You have to hit 1 left for Bristol. Back with a bottom of 6, 8-1. Cumberland, Rhode Island with the lead over Bristol.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Right back here at Muzzy Field in Bristol. Zafransky to lead it off. Donovan scheduled in Brodeur. Let's see if it goes that way. Some of the changes made by Cumberland, Rhode Island. Will they make more? Zafransky will come to the plate. Young man has walked 3 consecutive times. Got a good eye, number 8 hitter.
Think about this, Don. This is how dominant Chris Wright was in those first 4 innings of pitching. Out of the 15 batters he faced, only 4 of them hit the ball fair.
Yep.
Hit the ball fair.
Yep. And his strikeout total was rising.
Yeah.
And it with 9 there. Pitch inside. It may have clipped
Hit
the
him.
batter. It
Yep.
did. Zafransky on for the 4th time today. Walked 3 times, now hit by a pitch. Nathan Donovan stepping up to the plate, the third baseman. 0 for 3 with an RBI. This game just kind of moving along like a long, slow stroll. Ground ball. And it stays in the infield. It's kind of died. Hit out to the right. It does push the runner along, and Donovan thrown out by Lemke. That one left the bat had a chance to get through.
Yeah, it did, and then it just died. So it must have hit some part of the infield that was stiffer than another part, and then made its way. As I said before, it seems like if you looked even on our monitor, I can see it. You can see the darker areas of ground out there compared to the way it was this afternoon when the sun was out.
This is Brodeur to the plate. Couple of hits. Reach on the fielder's choice, has an RBI, couple of runs scored. Leadoff hitter has been efficient.
Yeah, Brodeur was the one, the game started off, hello, rocket, right back to the mound, right? This is what you're going to be up against today. We're all downhill from Bristol in that second inning.
8-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Two-0 pitch. A strike call. The count goes 2 balls, 1 strike. Got a runner down at second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, nice pitch that time by McCauley. Not just throwing fastballs behind the, with the 2-0 count.
Cumberland broke this game open with 5 runs in the second inning. They just took advantage of Noah Cruz and his inability to get strikes.
Yeah, it was walk.
Yeah.
And actually, all the runs came with 2 outs, right?
Yep. He got a strikeout, then he walked 2, then he got a ground ball out, and then
right.
Floodgates
the
open.
Infield single after the runners moved up.
Pitch up high, count goes full 3-2 to Brodeur. Calabro on deck, who had one of those big hits, a 2-run single back in the second.
You got to wonder, because in the regular season he was 51 strikeouts versus 23 walks, right?
3-2 pitch, and that's hit towards the gap in left center field. That's a base hit. They round the runner around the bag at third, and Zafransky will score, and that's an RBI single for Brodeur. And he's got his 3rd hit of the ball game. So had a bevy of players with 3 hits today, and he'll join that hit parade. Has a couple of RBIs. 9-1 now. Calabro to the plate. Reached an error in the 5th inning and scored. He's also walked, go along with that RBI, that 2-run base hit, and there's a wild pitch to the backstop.
Well, Bristol in danger pretty soon, Don. They're down by 8 runs. There is a mercy rule in this tournament. If you're ahead by 10 runs or more, going, after the 7th inning, if you're the home team. If you're the home team, then, in other words, here, Rhode Island, they would have to be only up by 10 runs or more going into the bottom of the 7th.
Popped up way up in the air. Look out! And that's going to fall safely on the field for the hitter, as McCauley couldn't find it. It was way above the lights. We had that discussion prior to the start of one of the games here today. Mazzone couldn't find it either. That will go as a base hit. Wow.
Yeah, that one went way up. That was like a major league pop-up above the lights, and then you have to catch it on its way back down. And looked like McCauley just misjudged where that ball was going to be coming down.
Tyler
You can
Walsh,
see it in his body language, how frustrated he is.
Walsh 2 for 3 today with an RBI. Top 5 guys in the batting order: 2 RBI, 2 RBI, 1 RBI, 2 RBI, 1 RBI. Number 9 guy with an RBI. That's a lot of production up and down the lineup. So now they're on first and second. Brodeur didn't go anywhere. Obviously, he thought the ball would probably be caught or maybe be caught. I was wondering if it would be caught and never went anywhere. Had to stay there. Coach LaPenta wants to come out and have a chat with Troy McCauley. I don't know what it's all about. Chris Wright waiting on deck. It looks a little bleak now for Bristol here on opening day. They're trailing 9-1.
Well, you would imagine you got to tell them to just hang in there, that they can't afford to use another pitcher, for the tournament, that you have to try to say to yourself, well, this is just one of the battles, and the goal is to win the war, so to speak.
So Waltz will dig in. He has come up with a couple of hits today. There's an RBI. Takes strike 1. 9-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. That's fouled straight back to the screen. Well, it's been a fun day of baseball. Scroll those scores for you across the bottom of our screen. Games played earlier today. When this one's decided, we'll have tomorrow's matchups put together for you. There's a ball that's hit very high and deep down the left field line, but way foul towards the stands and in. Got a couple of folks enjoying the action from the grandstand way beyond the third base bag there. Maybe 4 people over there now as they take a look.
Yep. Well, you can't have that car at center field like we had
well, you could have the
Bill
car
Pomfret
out there
Stadium
at center field,
and Palmer
but,
Field. We had that lone guy out there the whole tournament watching the game.
I don't think you could see over the fence.
Yeah.
Pitch down low. Strike 3 call, pretty pitch, and Walsh will go back to the dugout, called out on strikes. That brings up Chris Wright. Wright today with a couple of doubles, 2 RBIs. His game, the win as a pitcher, he has a 9-1 lead. He was taken out after 5. And why use them up? Save those innings. You never know when you might need them.
And I'll bet you they have him on a pitch count, too. I bet you they determined right there. It's like he probably on a 75 pitch count. When you got a guy going to college on a scholarship, D1, you're not going to overtax him in the summer. That's the name of the game today. College is so expensive that
you do what they say.
Yeah, you do exactly what they want you to do.
Count 2-0. That pitch ripped into left field for a base hit. They send the runner around the bag at third. Here comes the throw, and not in time. Another run, another RBI for Chris Wright. So Brodeur scores from second, showing some pretty good speed there. That's an RBI base hit for Chris Wright. He now has 3 RBIs in the ballgame.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't want him as your pitcher, you'd want him as your as a hitter.
The cleanup hitter, too.
Yeah.
Trevor.
He was hit by a pitch. He doubled, got 2 RBIs back in the second. Doubled again.
Marks to the plate now. It's a very high into the air. Left fielder going on back, and Marquis will make the catch, and that will end the inning. 10-1 your score. Back with the top of the 7th right after these words on SportingNewsCT.com as we bring you the Northeast Regional. It's American Legion Baseball.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people.
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
You're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
You also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service.
Welcome right back. A beautiful day of baseball coming to a close in a bit here as we move on to the top of inning number 7. 10-1 your score. Cumberland, Rhode Island with the lead. And you got the reliever out on the mound here for the starter, Chris Wright. That's Nick Crow getting some work. Really kind of maintenance work right now for Crow with that 10-1 lead.
Yeah, it certainly is. The Crow throwing strikes, you know, putting the ball over the plate, letting his defense do the work.
Scheduled to hit is Rasmus, and he will. Jaden, the center fielder. He's 0 for 2 today.
Another pitcher is warming up now for Bristol down the left field line.
Grow the lefties pitch to the plate. Has a ground ball hit to the shortstop. Fielder Calabro, long throw, and he throws it way over the head of the first baseman. Marks. Ball took a big bounce, and that'll be Rasmus safe at first on the E6. I could call that one. It was in the hole there and really had to throw it a long way to get it.
Launched that one into orbit.
Absolutely. Oshenko to the plate, and he doubled.
You'd mention, I was just imaging in my head the first baseman flinging his glove up in the air trying to hit it because he still wouldn't have gotten it. Right?
Oshenko had a double.
Stretcho of the Fantastic Four wouldn't have gotten it.
Gumby, my favorite ball player, would have got that one. Chris Wright, who worked the 5. Oshenko, who is...
By the way, I talked to him between games about that nickname you gave him.
Oh, yeah? What did he say?
He's not happy with it.
He doesn't like it?
No, I'm only kidding.
Like Gumby?
I'm only kidding.
I wasn't worried.
You should be, if it was true.
Here comes the 0-1. He makes so many dazzling plays at the bag at first. It's amazing.
Yeah, he does.
Really gives confidence to his infielders to just sling it over to him at first base. He'll go get it. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Oshenko with that double. It came off of Chris Wright back in the 5th inning. Really hit it well. There's a lot of silence inside this ballpark right now. A 10-1 game in the top of the 7th. Well, you're going to have games like this as part of a state tournament. Or a regional tournament.
Not as much silence as that game we had then. We started at 11:30 at night. I don't know if you remember that one.
I think everybody was asleep, including
it was Bristol versus Vermont that year.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's fouled back.
They had to get some kind of special permission from the mayor or something to start the game.
That's right. Yeah. Was Art Ward the mayor at the time? I think he was, yeah. Loves baseball. He's working here today, matter of fact. He helped organize this Northeast Regional. Bring it
really?
Here.
Is he a Legionnaire as well?
Yeah. Well, he's certainly... is he a Legionnaire? He must be a Legionnaire, yeah. 2-2. Pitch missed outside. Count goes full 3-2. Yeah, yes. Very, very hard worker behind the scene for all this. They put together a great program book, did Bristol American Legion. Got a lot of sponsors in it, which is great to see. Some welcoming letters. Arthur Ward is the Bristol Tournament Director. He spent 3 terms as mayor of Bristol. Going back to 2013 was his last tenure. Oshenko walks, and now you got a base runner at first and one at second. And Lemke to the plate. He has singled twice today. Michael W. Boomer Gort, the tournament director. He's out of Minnesota. He made a long trek here to get here and take care of this tournament. He was an umpire for 15 Minnesota State American Legion tournaments. That's going to be an error right there on the third baseman, Donovan, as Lemke will reach, and things coming apart a little bit here for Cumberland. It's a 9-inning ball game, Steve Riley. You got to play them all.
Well,
Sassu, the catcher, now stepping up with the bases loaded and nobody out. That's right. Ground ball hit slowly. Going to be collected. They get the out at the bag at second and on the first and safe there. Hustling along with Sassu.
And a run
So
scores.
run scores as Rasmus will cross the plate. They get the man in the middle. Sassu reaching on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, and was that Oshenko was erased or no? Oshenko is now
So
down
Bristol
at third
makes
base.
it 10-2.
I guess it was Lemke who was erased.
That's right, he was erased.
Sassu is
Yeah.
on first now.
4-6 if you like to score that on the force out at the bag at second. This is Troy McCauley. McCauley today is reach on the fielder's choice. Got runners on the corners with one out. 10-2 you score. And that ball hit out to right field, and it's misplayed by the right fielder. That is right, and a run will score. He must have just taken his eye off of that, and
He just
lo and
missed it.
behold,
Yeah,
he just missed it. I don't even
the
think it touched
darkness,
him.
I know, yeah, he just went right by him.
Oshenko will score from the bag at third. Sassu ends up at second base.
Bizarre play there.
McCauley, I guess he's going to get an RBI base hit out of that. I don't think he
Gonna give
touched
him a
it.
hit?
Yeah.
I don't know how you can give him non-error.
I don't know. I think you would have to give him an error too. Let's see if they change that. Yeah. No error yet. Yes, error on the play. Yeah, they're going to go error.
Yeah.
So no RBI, ground ball. And they don't
Another
get the out of the
error.
bag at second. And things starting to fall apart. And another run will score. And another runner heading to the bag at third. So before I could write E9 in my book, we got another error here. And things falling apart. And another run has crossed the plate.
As
Oh,
the
it's
saying
10-4.
goes, what the heck is going on?
Absolutely.
Well, it could very well be with all those strikeouts early in the game that the fielders didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, we didn't see the deficiencies.
Yeah.
It has not been a pretty inning.
I mean, 4 errors in 1 inning is really unusual for a state champion.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't turn that double play. Kind of hurt things a little bit. Just talking to Nick Crow. He remains in the game at 10-4.
Nope, there's 1 out now.
Yeah, still just
Oh, that's
one
right
out.
on the 4-6 with
That's
Nick
right.
Sassu, the fielder's choice.
Yep. Still have runners on the corners.
Yeah.
This is Marquis to the plate. And that's fouled off. Marquis today is struck out, hit a fly ball out, and hit a shallow fly to the second baseman back in the first inning.
7 total errors in the ball game now.
Yeah, not pretty. This
Yeah.
game has not been pretty. Bristol with 3 in the top of the 7th. Soft toss to the bag at first.
See what a difference pitching makes, huh?
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, now that Bristol's putting it in play.
Yeah.
And they've been, the defenders have been back on their heels for most of the game. Now all of a sudden, 4 errors in 1 inning.
That throw nearly got away over to the bag at first.
Well, crazier things have happened. It's only the 7th inning.
Yep. Now 10-4.
Pitcher worried about the runner. The runner has like a 2-step lead over there at first base, does Mazzone.
Crow will look in for the sign. The left-hander works below the waist. And the pitch in there for the strike, and the count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And again, a runner who walked in this inning scored a run. So I think if we go back and look at our scorebooks from the beginning of the Connecticut tournament, how many walks actually scored?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
you can do that. I'll find something else.
Must be an app for that, right?
I can think of a couple things I'd rather do.
There's got to be an app for that, right?
I'd actually rather paint my porch in the backyard than look that up.
Where's Phil Brodsky when you need him?
That's right. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch popped up. Could be difficult. Over the second baseman, and he overran it. That was Josh Brodeur. They just can't get it out.
I know.
You know, you look at the pitcher, Crow, he's got to be a little bit frustrated. He probably should be in the dugout.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a little bit
the inning
sloppy,
started with an
but,
E6, a walk, an E5, a fielder's choice, an E9, then an E6. And the one in E9 was really odd. It looked like a guy's coming in like he's going to catch it. It's like his glove just disappeared.
Yep.
As if, what was her name? Montgomery just twiddled her nose and the glove disappeared or something. Right?
Bewitched. You're going way back in town. There's a ball that's hit out to the center fielder. That'll be caught. They tagged a runner. Here comes a throw from Safranski, and not in time. Another run will cross the plate as McCauley scores, and that's a sac fly RBI for Marquis. And now we have a 10-5 game. So there goes really probably the mercy rule, you would think.
Yeah.
That was about to come into play. So let's give Bristol some credit here. Chad Richardson to the plate, taking advantage of some miscues, major miscues by Rhode Island. This kind of changes my opinion on them just a little bit here, Steve, after day 1 on who sits where.
Well, you have to see also who their other starting pitching is.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you do.
If they got somebody who strikes a lot of guys out, it's going to be, they're going to still win a lot of games in this tournament.
Well, in the Shrewsbury Brattleboro game, he only had 2 errors, 1 aside. Only had 1 error in the RCP Pittsfield game.
Yeah.
And he had 7 errors between Rochester, New Hampshire, and South Portland, Maine. Teams that make errors usually don't win either.
Yeah.
Little check swing. Oh, throw is off the mark and safe at the bag at first is Richardson. That's another error on the throw. That is the 5th error of the inning. Wow. 9th batter to come to the plate. I don't think I've ever seen 5 in 1 inning.
In 1 inning by a state title team. Yeah, I know.
For that to the plate.
There's going to be a little bit of talking to from their coach at the end of this inning.
I don't know if that just lost the focus or, when they have to play it, they don't know what to do with it. Who knows?
Well,
pitch in for the strike. 8 errors between the 2 teams, 5 in an inning. What are you doing? Give me an autograph? Thank you. That ball fouled off.
You finally noticed it.
Absolutely. And the program book is a spot for autographs. Steve Riley just autographed my program book. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Count 0-2. Rasmus, who began the inning by reaching on an error, sits on deck. And then the 0-2 pitch popped up and fouled back. Might be a lot of people in the ballpark going, well, I guess we're going to have to watch the rest of this thing here now.
Somebody back in a hotel might have gone to sleep watching this game, right?
And now they're waking up. Myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they'll wake up and say, what? What happened in this inning?
There goes a runner, second to third. The pitch hit high up into the air. And it will be caught for the inning's final out. Fransky able to put it away. Finally tames things out there, does the center fielder. And that will do it. 9 to the plate, 4 runs on the board, 2 left. Yeah, right, exactly. 5 errors in the inning. 5 errors. That's right. They scored all those runs without a hit. 4 runs without a hit. Holy cow. Back with the bottom of 7 right after this.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
I never realized how much the
They're here on the bottom of the 7th inning. I don't know if I pushed the right button or not. I do apologize if I hadn't, but kind of lost track of things there. Mistake number 7 there, Steve, by the way. Got a runner at first base with 1 out. Safransky today has found a way to get on. He's walked 3 times. He's been hit by a pitch. He scored a couple of runs, the number 8 guy. Swing and a miss.
Even Troy McCauley now up to 74 pitches, 41 strikes, 33 balls.
Swing and a miss. A little late on that swing.
Yeah, that time McCauley bobbed his head a bunch of times trying to trick the runner at first, and the batter was allowed himself to be held in more than 4 seconds.
One ball, 2 strikes to count. And there's a strike 3 call. Safransky retired. You have 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And it brings up Nathan Donovan. So Donovan to step up with 2 out and a runner down the bag at first. Petrin with that rifle single up the middle. 10-5 in the 7th. Pitch up and in.
Yeah, 5 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors for Bristol. 10 runs, 11 hits, 5 errors for Rhode Island.
Those 5 errors all coming in 1 inning.
Yep. Now it looks like we're going to have some activity in the Bristol bullpen. Let's see who that is.
Pitch filed straight back.
Well, Noah Cruz just went down to the left field line, but I would imagine he's just going to be catching somebody.
They're trying to hurry things up down there a little bit.
They have a different guy go out.
Well, yeah, Cruz can't come back, so there's no reason why he'd be.
Yeah, he's just going down there. I thought he was going to catch for a while.
There's a ball chopped up the middle. Fredette will field it, dropped it, picked it up, touched the bag for the force at second. Nothing's pretty tonight. We're back with the 8th, and your score 10-5. Cumberland, Rhode Island leading Bristol. Back with more.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
All right, welcome back as we move on to the 8th inning. It's Bristol coming to the plate, 10-5 you score. And we started at, 9:30 this morning, still going. A little over 12 hours, close to 13 hours of baseball today. Steve is starting to look at things that came out of Cracker Jack boxes.
Well, this is your prize I gave for you.
I don't even know what it is. But
it's a sticker.
It's a sticker.
It says, "Catch me if you can." It's a baseball with a flame next to a star. So I don't know.
I'll send that down to my grandson.
It says "stick it and blip it." I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that means.
It's for a cell phone, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the other prizes we used to get?
The good stuff, right?
Good stuff.
Yeah, like you had to put it together, a little plastic thing, like a wheelbarrow or something. Yeah.
You got a wheelbarrow?
I think I did once.
I never got a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I tell you.
Well, Cracker Jack used to be in a box, and we used to use the box just to make noise with.
A new pitcher out there, by the way, for Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Yep, it's number 8, which is Mike Bogolowski.
He's going through his formal warm-up tosses out there in the mound.
Not Mike Bogoslawski. He used to be a consumer reporter, right, for Channel 8 many years ago.
Bogolowski. Let's see what Bogolowski can do. He's 5'11", 135. He'll graduate. He just graduated from Cumberland High School in 2016. How do you weigh 135 pounds? He's as tall as I am. I'm doing something wrong. I weigh him by almost 100 pounds. There's a ground ball hit to the third baseman. Donovan goes across the diamond. And that's a better start defensively as Rasmus grounds out. Good play by Donovan there. 5-3. Oshenko to the plate. He has scored a couple of runs here today. Has a double.
boy, and a boing.
Yeah,
That
pitch
ball
all the way
hit
to the
hit the
backstop.
front of the plate.
Bounced all the
Bounced
way.
up in the air all the way to the backstop. That was just like, I remember I was coaching in a game. It was a scrimmage once that did that, and it went over the backstop in a field, hit the
That's
plate.
fouled off the foot of Oshenko. More baseball coming your way tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Bogolowski looking in for the sign. Ready to deal it. And here's the 1-1 from the right-hander. Sprayed foul. Count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of great baseball played today. We'll send that scroll on through again, give you the scores from games played earlier today. Count now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shouts for Bogolowski. Let's go, Mike, out there.
Well, Bristol's opponents this year, Don, only had a batting average of 194 against their pitching staff. That changed a little bit with the aluminum bats here today.
Count goes full at 3-2.
Stranger things have happened. It's only a 5-run lead. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, after that
5
disaster,
errors in 1 inning.
Yeah,
I mean, you
absolutely.
never know now.
Can happen again. You never know. That's what I'm saying.
They just
I've lost.
changed it on the scoreboard, didn't they?
You just confirmed what they said. That's
Didn't they just change it on the scoreboard, though?
They just changed it. I think they've changed one of the errors back to a hit.
Yeah.
I believe that was the Rasmus hit back in the, or the reach run there in the 7th. They're going to rule that a hit. That was the one to the hole there.
Okay.
Where Calabro did sky a throw, but there's probably no chance to get Rasmus. So here's a little dribbler. Whoop. Cue's the wrong way. Picked up. Throw to first. Bogolowski did a nice job to regain his composure and make the throw, and he would have 2 down. Lemke to the plate. So now it's 10 runs on 11 hits and just 4 errors by Cumberland, Rhode Island. And for Bristol, 5 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors. Pitch down low. This game about 3 hours old right now, Steve Riley.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to install locker rooms for the press back here.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. That pitch in for the strike.
A couple of fold-away cots or something to put there when you sleep
Yeah,
tonight.
absolutely.
Wake up for that 9:30 game tomorrow morning.
Count level to Lemke, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the offering. Ball hit down to the shortstop. Dropped by Calabro on the first, and that's another high throw. And it's way over the head of Marquis.
They should give him 2 errors on that play.
Man,
Brian.
absolutely.
Sheesh.
And Lemke in the second base. And I'm starting to really lose my confidence in this Cumberland team. I'm sorry to say it. They really impressed early on when he had Wright in the mound and he was striking everybody out. And, boy, there are 2 errors on that play. Fielding error and the throwing error. The one to allow him to be safe and the second to allow the runner to advance. E6.
Right. They're 2, so that's 4, right? So they have how many so far?
Total of 6.
6 errors.
Yeah, 2 in the inning.
Okay.
You can't be doing that.
So it's 1 by the right fielder, 3 by the shortstop, 1 by the pitcher, 1 by the third base.
Yeah, you can't be doing that stuff.
Wow.
Sassu to the plate. Can't do it against a good team.
And you
Cannot
could say,
do it.
you could argue it's 7
Well,
errors, right?
and I'm not saying Bristol's a bad team. I didn't mean it to sound that way, but you just can't do it. Period. Just
yeah. Well, you're taxing your staff.
Absolutely.
You're taxing your pitching staff. They're throwing more and more pitches. As you get further down, they may need these guys.
1-1. Ground ball hit the third, taken on a short hop there by Donovan and got it across the diamond. Nice play by Donovan to go get that and flashed a quick glove, and Sassu retired 5-3, and that will do it. So the double ever doesn't hurt. We're back with the bottom of 8, 10-5. Cumberland, Rhode Island with the lead over Bristol.
Jeez.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Well, welcome right back as we travel into the bottom of inning number 8. Cumberland, Rhode Island 10, Bristol, Connecticut 5. As out on the mound is Troy McCauley in relief of Noah Cruz. He's really done a pretty nice job out there on the mound. He's been pretty effective in relief here. Settled things down somewhat. It's Brodeur, Calabro, and Walsh, the scheduled hitters for Cumberland, Rhode Island. Both teams have had big innings. Bristol scored 4 in the 7th to make it a little more interesting here. Cumberland had 5 in the 2nd. So Brodeur 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs, 3 runs scored.
You know, they're almost, I mean, Cumberland is almost giving the impression, Don, that if they don't have right on the mound, that they're in trouble. You know, that's the impression they're leaving everybody.
That's right. Pitching there for the strike call.
That if other teams put the ball in play, that they're going to boot some around.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah, and they can go in the winner's bracket, but are they going to just jump right down to the loser's bracket? I mean, you know.
There's a strikeout of Brodeur, one down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That brings up Tyler Calabro. And, you know, maybe they hit the ball pretty good. I mean, they do have 11 hits.
Yeah, they
Let's
do.
think about that.
I mean, no question about it. They have a few guys that are in the lineup that are whacking the ball around. But, I mean, you know, the bottom line is even though they're whacking the ball around, they're still leaving the other team in the game.
Pitch up high. Pitch it on the ground, down to the third baseman. Mazzone will field that and get it across the diamond to Richardson for the out. And you have 2 out.
I mean, the unusual part about this game is now Bristol, because of all the pitches they had to throw, they're almost wiping out 2 pitchers, right?
Yep.
McCauley now is up to 85 pitches. And Noah Cruz, even in 3 innings, probably threw over, I think it was about 50 to 55 pitches or so, right? So
And pitch up under the chin. Walsh just get out of the way.
Well, that one is like music, as they call it, chin music.
Absolutely.
It's closer than a razor on that one for a shave.
Walsh is 2 for 4 today with a run scored and
Gotta
RBI.
get that crazy razor from the guy from Pawn Stars, right? That's a shave. That's a close shave.
Curveball hit on the ground. Little dribbler is going to be charged by Mazzone. Throws to first and throws it away. Runner safe at first. Tyler Walsh. Let's see how they score that. And they're going to rule it a base hit. Yeah, I thought he had a beat too.
Yeah, they're being generous.
So it brings up
being
Chris
a little
Wright.
Generous there. Might be not be an actual error, but I mean, come on, he just flung it away. So I don't know.
Generosity comes back, Steve.
Yeah.
Generosity comes back.
12 hits on the day or 11 hits on the day then?
Yeah, there's been a couple of plays that could actually have a few more errors in this game. Really could have gone either way.
Wouldn't that be the 12th hit, though? I thought they already had 11 hits. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there it goes up.
Yep,
it's
up
the
on the
12th
board
hit.
now.
Yep, 12 hits.
This is Chris Wright. Right, 3 RBIs, a couple of doubles as a single. 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs today. Has not scored a run, Chris Wright. Cleanup hitter. He's on the way to picking up a win here. There goes a runner in the pitch down low. No throw by Sassoon. So Walsh in the scoring position.
Yep, top 4, top 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, right, with 7 RBIs between them.
Mm-hmm.
2 for Brodeur, 1 for Calabro and Walsh, and then 3 for Wright.
Pretty pitch right there. Sounds like crowd mic just ran out of energy. I think that's what it was. Yeah. After a long day, ground ball picked up, throw the bag at first, and they got him. Nice job by McCauley to get over there, and terrific play by Richardson to stay with the baseball, and that will end it. We're back with the top of the 9th. 10-5 you score. Bristol coming to the plate.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Welcome right back here as we continue on to the top of the 9th inning. And, well, Steve, looks like, well, I'm not going to say anything because I have no idea. But Chris Wright could pick up the win. Noah Cruz could take the loss here unless something really stupendous happens, I guess, as we move on to the 9th inning.
You know, it just became a totally sloppy game on both sides. And there's just, 4 errors in 1 inning. Could very well have been scored as close to 5 errors, if that. 9 errors between the 2 teams. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's really been an interesting game.
Yeah, and the game started off like everything was clean. It looked like the game, for all extensive purposes.
McCauley popped it up, catcher over. Petrin a little late finding that one. Difficult to find
That's what happens when it goes above the lights. But for all extensive purposes, one could have thought that the game was over after the second inning.
That's right.
I mean, because they, the way they gave up the runs with 3 walks, an infield single, and only 2 hits, and you gave up 5 runs in the second inning. It looked like very, very bleak even there. And then they just started pouring it on until they got up to 8 runs and the 2 in the 5th after they got 1 in the 3rd. Then they got 2 in the 6th to be ahead by a score of 10-1. It really looked bad. And then all of a sudden they decided to make 4 errors in 1 inning. So it seems like after Chris Wright came out, and he had 9 strikeouts with 1 walk. And I think he only gave up 3 hits, if I'm not mistaken. But after that, the game just turned into one big sloppy mess after the next.
Ball hit out the center field. That's a base hit, and McCauley keeps the hopes alive of a big rally here in the top of the 9th inning for Bristol. And brings up Ben Mazzone. Mazzone today is 0 for 4. Has reached on an error. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah, and that top of that 7th inning down, it all started off with a single, which was, by Rasmus getting a single on the ground ball to short. Schwenko walked, and then you had an E5, fielder's choice, E9, E6, and then later he had an E1.
There's another base hit out the right field by Mazzone. That's his first hit of the ball game, and McCauley goes hustling to third. Now you got him on the corners. Bristol not going away, and Zach Marquis to the plate. Well, who says it has to be pretty?
No. But the tying run is still in the dugout somewhere, though.
This game over 3 hours old with the opening ceremonies, of course, included. So Marquis to the plate. Zachary over 3 with an RBI. We got Chad Richardson awaiting on deck. Pitch hit high up into the air. Wright coming on. Let's see if he can grab that one. He does. They're going to tag the runner. Here comes a throw home, and that is a bullet. They will not tag that runner against that arm.
No.
Kind of bluffed him a bit down the line.
Yeah. I want to see if he might throw it away or something. But
that's a good throw. It got in there quickly. It got in there in a hurry. Remember that for later in the tournament, perhaps. Will a team try to gamble on him? Richardson 1 for 4 today. Has struck out a couple of times. 10-5 you score. Bogolowski's right-handed pitch. Fastball a little high.
In the first 4 innings, Don, Bristol's had 9 strikeouts and about 15 batters.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, they've only struck out once in 20 batters.
Bogolowski again looking in for that sign. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Pitch to the plate to Richardson. Missed outside. The count goes 2 balls, no strikes. Are you playing Pokemon online at all?
No.
That pitch outside?
Stuff.
No.
We got better things to do.
Count up walks.
Yeah, count up walks. Right. Looking at stats.
Count 3 balls, no strikes right now.
Can you imagine if this was a showcase game?
Oh,
right,
man.
Right. I mean, if it was a showcase game, you'd sort of look at it and say, "Okay, I'll take that kid right." Okay.
This ball 4. Bases are now loaded, Steve.
Yeah.
With 1 out.
Looks like they're going to have a switch of helmets? Or what? Oh, they're just going to talk to each other.
Fredette to the plate. Shortstop, big swing. He was trying to make it a one-run game with a big swing.
Right. He certainly was.
Just swinging like that, he's probably cleared the fence here before. Or one pitch, another big, healthy swing at it. Fouled that off. Now he's in a hole 0-2.
EC. It's another error.
Yeah. Oh, right, exactly. I'm losing it here.
Yeah, foul ball down the third baseline. He just joked as an EC.
Ground ball. Fielded. No.
No.
Knocked into center field.
Two
I
runs
should
are
say
scoring.
left field. Yeah, 2 runs will score on that. It was just kind of
That's
knocked
another
around.
error, really, right?
That was pinballed off a couple of gloves. Let's see how they record that one.
Oh, geez.
To score. McCauley and Mazzone both tally. 2
It's
more
going to be
runs.
an eat on who? It's
Bristol
got to be
makes
an
it
error.
10-7.
The 7th error of the game, right?
Yep. They just put it up there. Who's the error on? Third baseman. I think that hit both gloves.
And then he
Of the
fell down
shortstop,
after that.
yeah.
Yeah, which is really odd.
It wasn't pretty.
It's like we have a new pitcher.
So 10-7 you score. Still one out here in the top of the 9th in the game that will never end. We'll be back with more.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before. And when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before. And when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
All right, welcome right back as we continue, and it's Dominic Cunha now on the mound. 4th pitcher being utilized by Cumberland, Rhode Island. Imagine that at one point they were about ready to mercy rule this team, and now they're 4 pitchers deep into the ball game.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they've committed 7 errors since
it's just
then.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but it is. This is Fredette to the plate.
And now there's 2 runners on, so the tying run has come to the plate.
Absolutely. But just one out here.
Yep.
And the way things are going.
Put the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. Just let them touch it.
It's like nobody wants it. They all think it's like a hot potato, right? Nobody wants to touch the thing. So they have an error now. That is the, let me see, how many errors now? Third baseman has 2. Shortstop has 4. Or do they? No, I guess shortstop has 3. I'm sorry. Right fielder 1, pitcher 1.
Count 0-1. And the pitch to the plate.
Wild pitch.
Wild pitch goes to the backstop.
Wow.
Right. And runners now.
I'm surprised that Bristol is quiet, with their bench. They should be roaring now, right? They're only down by 3, and they got 2 runners in scoring position now with 1 out.
This is Rasmus to the plate, so excuse me. You have Fredette already reached, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, on the E5.
On the E5, yeah.
This is Jaden Rasmus.
So Rasmus today has a base hit. Now he's got 2 in scoring position with 1 out. And the pitch, swing and a miss.
Yeah,
Fastball.
good hard fastball there. I mean, if Rhode Island ends up losing this game, they might as well jump on the bus and go somewhere other than their hotel.
Absolutely. I'd hide my head for at least an hour.
Talk about gray hairs growing on the manager's head by now, right?
Absolutely. This is a team that they showed so much confidence in the beginning of this game.
Oh yeah, well that's what pitching does. We always talk about that, momentum, and it's really true. The momentum is only as good as your next day's pitcher.
Yeah, that's right.
In this case, your next innings pitcher.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him.
They got him, yeah.
Rasmus will go back. So Bristol down to their final out. And Oshenko to the plate. Oshenko's hit it hard today and has a double back on the 5th.
Well, the big Kuna there just gets a strikeout.
Yep.
A needed strikeout for this team.
Absolutely. (10-7) you score. 17 runs between the two teams. 10 errors. Pitch in there for the strike. 19 hits.
And the team with 7 errors is winning.
That's right.
Right? Right?
That's right.
Instead of saying they scattered 10 hits, he scattered 7 errors.
Right.
Right?
Oh, a big curveball. That was a nasty pitch. Count goes 0-2.
Well, you get ahead. You try to get other guys in the game to save your pitching.
Yeah.
Then you let a game get away. You got to see how this is really going to affect. Does this affect Cumberland that much?
Curveball, swing and a miss. Well, they're going to make it through this game here.
Yep.
And your final score, it is going to be Cumberland, Rhode Island over Bristol. And give me the 30-second Reader's Digest version of this one, please.
Very sloppy game, Don, and the only bright spot in this game really was Chris Wright and some of the hitters for the Rhode Island offense, Josh Broder being one of them. Calabro, the shortstop, getting an RBI, 3 RBIs for Chris Wright, as I said, 1 for Tyler Walsh, and so on. And it was the big second inning where Bristol really gave them a bunch of runs and on walks and such. So the game was, you would have thought this game was over in the second inning. Bristol's body language sort of like made it. They actually, their strategy seemed like leaning towards that as they were leaving in pitchers for Noah Cruz for a long time in that inning. And just a really sloppy game. 7 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for Bristol. 10 runs, 12 hits, 7 errors on the part of Cumberland, Rhode Island. And Cumberland has to go back and regroup. They won this game, but they got to regroup because their confidence as to their ability to battle for the rest of this tournament has to be taken down a little bit of a peg once Chris Wright is not on the mound.
All right, we'll leave you with this. Schedule for tomorrow beginning at 9:30 a.m. Losers bracket game between Pittsfield, Massachusetts and South Portland, Maine, followed by Brattleboro, Vermont taking on Bristol, Connecticut in the back end of that morning doubleheader. Our afternoon affair features a good one between Rochester, New Hampshire and RCP of Rocky Hill, Cromwell, and Portland, Connecticut at 4:30, and 45 minutes after the conclusion of that one, Shrewsbury, Mass. Taking on this Cumberland, Rhode Island team at about 7:30 or so. That's going to do it for Steve Riley. Goodbye, everybody.
SportingNewsCT.com is now streaming your team's big game. SportingNewsCT.com is Connecticut's broadcast home for high school sports, college sports, and American Legion baseball. Whether it's football, soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball, softball, or lacrosse, we stream it live. Can't watch the game live? Then check out our on-demand rebroadcast. Want a keepsake? Download an audio broadcast or order a DVD. There's more. SportingNewsCT.com features interviews with coaches, players, and administrators. The game's on. SportingNewsCT.com. SportingNewsCT